Hello, everybody. I am getting things set up and ready at the moment, making sure that the the audio sounds good. I also am going to be live streaming on YouTube as well, so that means I have got to go in and make sure that that is set up on proper playlists so that it's not it's not going to the wrong spot. So let's make sure it's on there. I usually put these on live stream because that's the raw uh, video stream for it. Plus, I'll give it a thumbnail too while I'm in here. Okay, so check the audio. Sounds good on the audio. Actually, is it a little too high? No, it's actually good. So, it sounds good on YouTube and on Kick. Twitch. Let's go in there and see if it's working and how it sounds. So, still got the loading part on there. And it is really weird. It sounds good on Twitch. It really is weird how it takes it takes Rumble so long to do their stuff. So looks like everything is up and going, sounding good. Today I am doing my fourth episode for Live with Roger Hanson, I believe, on wait a minute. No, it's the sixth episode, I believe. Well, it's sixth episode on YouTube. This one is actually the fourth one. I broke up the second and third episode into two parts and put it on YouTube as two separate parts. Those will be the same way whenever they're uploaded on and scheduled onto Rumble as well, so that I can actually have a little bit of smaller videos because these tend to go a lot longer than just 2-3 hours. So, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and start it. We probably won't have very long on this one. It doesn't seem that anybody's going to show up. So, with that, today is going to, the topics are going to be the external revenue service that was just put in place by Donald Trump. I'm going to discuss that. And after I discuss that, there is something else that was mentioned in chat with Mr. Robot that I wanted to talk about. And it's Sirhan. He had some interesting stuff to talk about. And then also, Mark Edworthy brought up England's birthday. And he posted a video from the Lotus Eaters. So I went and I watched that, and there was some things on there that I thought was pretty interesting that I thought was worth discussing, um, especially when it comes to the history of England. And I didn't know it was England's actual birthday, so happy birthday to England. But those are going to be the general topics. Usually, when we have people in here, um, we have a lot more discussions than that, but that might just end up being the only topics we go through today because um, doesn't seem to be too much activity going on right now. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on a 15-minute video or songs and come back after I smoke my cigarette and get me a cup of coffee and yada yada yada. And after that, we will get back to the topics. So let me mute out, put the music on, and I will be right back. I hope you guys enjoy.
Awakening from an epic dream, awakening from the long dark night. Awakening from history, awakening from duality. The liberation of the human soul to consciousness of the one and all. The activation of the sacred plan, the birthing of a new man, a new man. When the light within is revealed, all the pain and suffering shall be healed, and the truth of love is our destiny, living on the earth in peace and harmony. Perceptions, awakening to the joy of life. Awakening to a new dimension, awakening to a paradise. The illusion of separation disappearing to unity, into the source of a high vibration, into the wonder of the mystery, a mystery. When the light within is revealed, all the pain and suffering shall be healed, and the truth of love is our destiny, living on the earth in peace and harmony. The Theophilus Thistler, the thistle sifter is sifting a sieve full of unsifted thistles. Thrust 3,000 thistles through the thick of his thumb. 3,000 thistles through the thick of his thumb. 3,000 thistles through the thick of his thumb. Theophilus Thistler, the thistle sifter is sifting a sieve full of unsifted thistles. Thrust 3,000 thistles through the thick of his thumb. 3,000 thistles. Mr. Robot rolled around and rolled round, and if Mr. Robot rolled around and rolled round, where is the round roll? Mr. Robot rolled round. Where is the round roll? Mr. Robot rolled round. Mr. Robot rolled round. Mr. Robot rolled round. And if Mr. Robot rolled and rolled round, and if Mr. Robot rolled around and rolled round, where is the round roll? Mr. Robot rolled round. Here is an exercise demonstrating the union of in at the end of words. Dividing and gliding and sliding and falling and brawling and sprawling and driving and driving and striving. Dividing and gliding and sliding and falling and brawling and sprawling and driving and driving and driving. Theophilus Thistler, the thistle sifter is sifting a sieve full of unsifted thistles. Plus 3,000 thistles through the thick of his thumb. 3,000 thistles through the thick of his thumb. 3,000 thistles through the thick of his thumb. Theophilus Thistler, the thistle sifter is sifting a sieve full of unsifted thistles. Plus 3,000 thistles through the thick of his thumb. 3,000 thistles. Mr. Robot rolled around and rolled round, and if Mr. Robot rolled around and rolled round, where is the round roll? Mr. Robot rolled round. Where is the round roll? Mr. Robot rolled round. Mr. Robot Mr. Robot rolled around and rolled round, and if Mr. Robot rolled around and rolled
Once the gods carved earth like a cosmic chessboard, Poseidon claimed Atlantis, his star-born accord. 10 twin suns, throne of tridents waves at his command. Empire stretched from Baalbic stones to Mayan sand. Monolith stacked like Legos blocks no crane could lift. Sonic levitation, gods don't need pulleys or grit. Athena taught Athens, Hephaestus forged veins of gold, but Atlantis spires pierced heaven, stories untold. Ages of virtue, divine blood pure in the veins. No egregious geodesic temples where starlight reigns, but mortality crept in, diluted the grace. Gold turned to rust, hubris eclipsed the god fast.
Of Atlantis, drowned in the deep. Poseidon's lost kingdom, where titans still sleep. From Giza to Tiwanaku, the coals and awe. As above, so below, cosmic empire of law. And princes of plasma, their thrones now debris. Echoes of Atlantis, where gods walked the sea.
Watch the fall, saw vice crack the divine. Pyramids hummed warnings, but they ignored the signs. Sky split with fury, tsunami swallowed their pride. Atlantis sang screaming, but blueprints survived. Baalbec's foundation, stones that defy modern math. 1,000-ton puzzle, gravity's aftermath. Scholars still baffled how they align the stars. They rode cosmic currents, breaching space-time's bars. Now divers chase shadows where crystal cities gleamed. AI scans the ocean, but truth a half-dream. Freemasons whisper maps in their lodges of lore. Plato's Critias, a metaphor or a war.
Echoes of Atlantis, drowned in the deep. Poseidon's lost kingdom, where titans still sleep. From Giza to Tiwanaku, the cold tension awe. As above, so below, cosmic empire of law. 10 princes of plasma, their thrones now debris. Echoes of Atlantis, where gods walk the sea.
They say Poseidon's seed still flows in our veins. In every megalith, every grid that restrains. The Dogon chart Sirius, temples guard the flame. But Atlantis tech, it's encoded in our DNA's frame. Zeus's verdict was fire, a flood and ice. Yet the Sphinx still stares, whispering sacrifice. Mortal minds crave power, but miss the design. True kings rule through resonance, not bloodline. Now decode the ruins, their psalms etched in stone. A star-born king's empire, now dust and bone. The hall of records buried neath Giza's cold gaze holds anti-gravity schematics from pre-flood days. Crystal engines hummed, organ fueled their might, till pride turned their frequencies dissonant blight. The Anunnaki fled, Mars colonies crumbled. Leviathan's bones and the Mariana rumbled. But Poseidon's ghost rides the Bermuda's mist. Evolve past the greed or drown in the abyss. Tsunamis taller than gods crack continents like eggs. Jungles of Egypt drowned, turned to sand in Poseidon's regret. Mammoths shrunk to lapdogs, skies choked by volcanic breath. Waves circled the globe thrice, 3 funerals for death. Up the piston, rode the arc of frequencies, not wood. Up tetrahedron ziggurat where anti-grav pulses stood. While Atlantis sank, he spliced DNA and quantum seeds, stashed them in Göbekley's veins and Indus Valley reeds. Volcanic winter's curse, Zeus hit the reset, scorched the grids, erased the moon-ringed internet. Noah's not a shepherd, he's a star-born archivist, cracking hermetic scrolls in caves where mushrooms twist. The survivors crawl from mud with amnesiac eyes, built new gods from scrap metal and fallen skies. Now desert bones whisper where cedars once soared. Man's just a ghost in Atlantis' holographic horde. The flood wasn't water, it was math. A codex purge, Enoch's nightmares digitized in the cosmic surge. As above, so below, the blueprint stays true. Rise from the ashes or drown in what's new. The flood wasn't water, it was math. A codex purge, Enoch's nightmares digitized in the cosmic surge. As above, so below, the blueprint stays true. Rise from the ashes or drown in what's you. Echoes of Atlantis drowned in the deep, the deep. Poseidon's lost kingdom where titans still sleep. From Giza to Tiwanaku, their codes etched in awe. As above, so below, cosmic empire of law. 10 princes of plasma, their thrones now debris. Echoes of Atlantis, where gods walk the sea. see. So when you see Stonehenge, Angkor Wat spire, know Atlantis lives in the quantum choir. The gods were myths, their mentors in code. Rise from the ashes, or repeat what they owe. They built the pyramids in 20 years, a block every 2 minutes. Hieroglyphs scream their pride, but not a how and what's written. Modern science scratches heads, these structures can't be mimicked. Copper tools, now scholars tripping, logic thinly stretched and twisted. Ran an obelisk, 1,000 tons dragged across the sand. Today's cranes can't lift a fifth, what force moved them by hand? Call the ancients primitive, yo, that's pure delusion. Physicists today need miracles to crack their fusion. The high priest of Kemet mapped the stars with precision, while modern minds stay chained to 3D prison. Land of the lost, esoteric Egypt, hidden was an allegorical crypt. Written in the language of symbolism, advanced knowledge cloaked in simple living secrets that rewrite history's episode. As above, so below, the hermetic code. Key of life unlocks the heavenly abode. Conscious matrix, how came a pyramid ode? The Sphinx wears water scars, a flood from ancient skies. Explosives crack the pyramids, no tombs, just hollow lies. Money stolen? Nah, that's ego talk, a weak hypothesis. Truths buried in the stars, encrypted in the myths. Sacred geometry, pagan songs, the roots of Christendom. Pythagoras knelt at their feet, Jesus learned the kingdom. Temples mirror Orion, Aztecs trace the same glow. Megalithic GPS, what's buried below? They split the lotus stem, hid wisdom at the core. Solomon's temple, just a copy of what came before. Land of the lost, esoteric Egypt, hidden wisdom, allegorical crypts. Written in the language of symbolism, advanced knowledge cloaked in simple living secrets that rewrite history's episode. As above, so below, the hermetic code. Key of life unlocks the heavenly abode. Conscious matrix, alchemy, pyramid ode. Iron to gold, alchemy's flame, they mastered the unseen. Telekinetic levitation, Mars dust in their genes. Critics laugh, aliens but the proof's in the plasma. Why is the Dogon tribe no serious? Was a binary drama. Myths of metaphors, the truth's too bright to hold. Scattered in ruins worldwide, a map etched in gold. They call themselves Necheru, gods with cosmic ships. Gifted fire, math and law, then dipped beyond the eclipse. Now academia's gatekeepers mock what they can't measure. But the scales of Ma'at weigh soul, not tech or treasure. The Zet Tepi dawned when gods walked as king. Left blueprints in Gobekli Tepe and the Nazca line. The emerald tablets truth burns through the scholar's denial. We're echoes of starlight reclaiming our trial.
When you stare at the sky, feel the ache in your chest. That's ancestral memory. We're all cosmic guests. The pyramids home a hymn, rising cold but divine. As above, so below, till the world's realigned.
Land of the lost, esoteric Egypt, the truth's a spiral, eternity script. Written in the language of symbolism, we're the gods we've been missing.
Hello, Mark. How are you doing today? Getting everything set up. We got all the audio tested. It's good to go. Say
Cool.
something. Okay, so I put out all the links and stuff, so it's good to go. Here in a minute,
Okay.
I'll start recording this episode and everything. But first, I wanted to kind of actually get it get it straightened out.
Okay.
Drop everything out. Got it all set up. But let me see here. There we go. Set you up on there.
101 Teams comments.
101 all teams.
Yeah.
Well, somebody's commented, or are you mentioning my?
No, you. Yeah, your comments.
Oh yeah, I posted
Yeah.
on there.
Yeah.
I've been trying to go and do that, but I mean, nobody really ever freaking responds to anything
Yeah.
on there. So it's getting to be a waste of time, actually.
Yeah, people like Jaffe and Nioki, and that's it all the time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's
Yeah,
just
how much success they have. Very little.
I doubt it, to be honest with you. I'm getting kind of frustrated with having to go in there and do that stuff. I didn't like the idea of them dropping Skype. That was a dumb move.
I don't know, Skype. Skype. Skype or Skype.
Well, I mean, like the Teams is really, really horrible, dude. Seriously, it's bad.
No native clients. All clients are with free. They are containers. They're not native clients. So yeah, Teams doesn't have any native clients.
Let me see. I'm having some issues trying to get everything sorted out. Oh, okay, we are on there. Shit. I was trying to get everything hooked up to where it's I can hit record when we do it, and it didn't want to cooperate.
Yeah.
So let me see here. Put a cool picture of something on the thing instead, because I don't know. There we go. Yeah, just go ahead and not do for the recording. Actually, I probably don't even have to do that, considering I'm live streaming on YouTube for this one. So,
Okay.
yeah. Well, I could still do it, I guess, for backup, but just in case Mr. Robot comes in here and starts talking about crazy stuff. He hasn't done that in a while. I think he's trying to behave.
Don't know.
I don't know. It's like, what's up with him? He's turned all civilized and stuff, hanging out with us sophisticated folks. Okay, so yeah, I'll go ahead and do a recording. That way, at least I have it backed up. So here we go. You ready?
Yep.
Pulled out your vodka there, didn't you?
Actually, strawberry and lime Scandinavian style cider.
Cider.
Yeah,
That's
4%.
kind of like root beer, isn't it?
No, proper alcoholic cider. Not what you Americans call apple juice.
Apple cider,
Proper cider.
proper
Which I
cider.
don't think Americans know what that is, really.
You know, you guys wouldn't have sherry if it wasn't for us. So
Eh?
sherry, sherry comes from freaking the United
Spain.
States. No, it doesn't. We
It's from Spain.
it originally sherry accidentally happened because we were trying to transport champagne across from the colony
Sherry's been around for centuries.
since the colonies. That's what I'm trying to say.
I
And
know long before the colony.
no, it's not. I've actually done the history on this. What happened is an
Okay.
accident. The barrels broke, and when it reached Europe, they freaking tasted it and they actually liked it. And that's
Yeah, I just typed in history of sherry into Google. Sherry has a history spanning over 3,000 years.
bullshit.
Originates within the Phoenicians, who brought wine making to the Jez. What actually Jez region in 1100 BC.
1100 BC.
Yeah, long before the Americas were even a thing.
You know, the early dryas did exist, right? Like
Uh,
you said, 11,000 BC.
yeah,
You know, the early dryas did exist, right? Like
yeah,
it wasn't a fictional thing.
yeah. But sherry has been around for 3,000 years.
Oh, sherry. Okay. Now,
That's what we
what was you talking about 11,000 years ago?
The Phoenicians brought winemaking to a region in 1100. Oh, 1100 BC, sorry, not 11,000, 1100 BC.
1100. Okay. I'm pretty sure it's sherry, though. That was uh, what it was. No, brandy. Maybe brandy.
Brandy, probably a less newer drink.
Brandy might be what I'm thinking of.
Brandy, Napoleon, um, 12th century.
12th century. Yeah.
Yeah, it was not widely used for beverages until the 15th.
Now, is that the one where the ship came over and freaking the barrels broke? Does it mention any of that?
Uh, Dutch.
It was actually
Blah blah blah. No.
discovered on accident.
But there
Alcohol.
was a lot of brandy trade in the Americas because of the Caribbean on the 17th. This was the age of the buccaneer. This was the age of the pirate. Or European piracy. So yeah, brandy common produce in the Caribbean because of sugar and slavery, and yeah, was brought over to the US and throughout Europe.
Yeah. Now that would be the Caribbeans too
Yeah,
because of it. Let me see. Now you got me thinking. I got to find out. This is actually important. This is groundbreaking information.
well,
Sherry or fortified wine.
okay. Cherry for
Sherry
fish.
associated due to a barrel breaking is associated with sherry or fortified
Oh,
wine.
sherry. Sorry, I thought you said cherry.
Sherry or fortified wine, particularly Madeira or port.
Okay, yeah. Madeira isn't technically sherry. I think it's a subset in its own right.
Madeira
Yeah.
wine. Um, and it was because of a broken barrel on a ship. Now, this could be legend too, though, because they say that it's actually a legendary thing.
Okay.
It was during the age of exploration in the fifth
But
century.
yeah, wine, brandy. Think of all those admirals and um, captains on ships. They've got
Great.
to do entertaining again occasionally.
During long sea voyages, especially to places like India or America, they started adding grape spirit, distilled alcohol, to their wine to prevent it from spoiling.
Mhm.
Okay, and it that actually eventually led to the discovery of fortified wine.
So yeah, that does sound like sherry, but no, fortified wine has been around for centuries, long before Europe discovered the Americas.
I think that's just you guys being snobs and trying to take credit for something that you didn't have.
Mm, maybe.
You snobs. And they're even trying to say that this is just a legend. It's a legendary thing. Trying
Yeah.
to trying to take credit away from the colonies is what it is. Now it says one version of the story goes that a barrel broke during loading, spilling some of its contents, but not enough remained for it to still be sealed and shipped. Because the wine had been exposed to oxygen, the heat, and sometimes sunlight, it underwent a transformation in flavor.
Yeah.
When, when it returned to port or was sampled after the voyage, it had a richer, more complex taste than before, somewhat caramelized and oxidized. This led winemakers to intentionally recreate the conditions of that broken or leaking barrel. They began storing wine in heated attics or sending it on round trip voyages across the.
Okay. I'm just doing some research and just asked what fortified wines are is the US known for. Sherry style wine. It can't be called sherry because that's got a European graphical protection thing on it. So it cannot be called sherry. But the US is known for producing sherry style wines.
Now, when you guys spell sherry, do you spell it with a C?
SH.
Okay, just want to make sure because
Sherry. Well, that's cherry.
well,
That's why I thought you were talking about Kirst
you
earlier.
guys have a weird accent, so I was thinking
Sherry.
maybe you.
FH.
Now, estufagem fogum is the process that they did, and they would ship their stuff over the equator to see if they could recreate it. I mean, that's pretty weird.
No, hence the California wine producing um,
Yeah, but we're talking about way back
industry.
when.
Yeah, but yeah, yeah, that's how the California wine production and industry started because they wanted to try and replicate
Mhm.
France and Spain and all those areas.
Although the broken barrel explanation is likely part romantic myth and part truth, the idea is
Mm.
accurate. A mistake or accident, often involving a barrel that cracked, leaked, or underwent environmental stress, led to the lasting innovations of alcoholic beverages.
No, it's not an innovation. It's like I said, sherry has been around, fortified wine's been around for uh, hundreds, thousands of years.
I don't know about all that.
well, like I said, 3,000 years ago.
Okay, so now that we've discovered the truth behind the wine industry, I guess I could do the countdown and we can get on with the show. Okay,
Okay.
okay.
Well,
So here we go. Three, two, one, now. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Live with Roger Hanson. I'm Roger Hanson, your host, and here is my co host, I guess, Mark Edworthy.
hi.
Today, we are starting the show off with just me and him. Usually, it starts that way, anyhow, but eventually, Mr. Robot, who's a surfer dude, comes strolling in here because you know how those surfer dudes are, Mark. They don't get up until after 12 o'clock in the afternoon, you know. So
Yeah.
he's probably gonna wake up and roll out of bed and
10:30 where he is at the moment, I think.
yeah, he still has another 2 hours.
8:30. 8:30, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he still has another hour and a half before he wakes up. You know what I mean? He has all those late night surfer parties that he's
Yeah.
gotta attend with his dubstep self. So I've sent out any links on both teams as well as on elements. I sent one to him, so if anybody wants to come in and join the conversation, they're more than welcome. If you're in the chats on Rumble, Twitch, YouTube, or D Live and Kick, and you want to come in, just let me know. I'll post a link in there, and you can come in and be a part of the conversation if the topic is interesting to you. So feel free to let me know, and I will do that. Now, the reason why I don't just automatically post them up there is because we get a lot of spammers on chat. So, you know what I mean? If we have actual people who are interested in wanting to be on stream and stuff, we'll let them in. So, with that being said, I want to also say that the music I put on before the stream began, or before the show began, that was music that was produced by Mr. Robot, aka Illuminati. You can find him at Rumble. His channel is called Hacker Radio. So if you guys like that music, stop by. I'm telling you, like this music, listen to some of the stuff he's got on there, and if you like it, subscribe to his channel. So, with that being said, I'd like to say hello, Mr. Edworthy.
Hello, Mr. Roger.
Still doesn't sound good. Like, hello, Mr. Rogers. Like I should be walking in the door, taking my shoes off and putting new ones on, you know?
Yeah, sitting down with a pipe
Yeah.
in the cardigan. Yeah.
Did he ever really smoke that pipe? Like, ever? I seen
I've
him.
not seen that many episodes, so again, this is more of a US sort of centric comedy, and I never really got it.
Yeah, well, I never really got Mr. Roger either.
Hmm.
I just, it was kind of creepy if you ask me. But,
Okay.
you know what I mean? It's like, why does the guy always come in, freaking change into a sweater and then put slippers on and take his shoes off on national?
Oh, reminds me of that comedian that did the sort of 70s US black comedian that did the 70s comedy, family comedy TV circuit, and got prosecuted for paedophilia. Can't think of his name. Famous 70s comedy, sitcom comedy, US sitcom comedy.
Richard Pryor.
No. Family orientated sort of sitcom.
Bill Cosby.
Yeah,
Bill
yeah,
Cosby. Yeah.
possibly. Yeah, he got into quite serious trouble.
Yeah, that's really. I mean, it's like Mr. Rogers was a sniper in the military when he was younger and shit.
Yeah. He remember reading about his history. Uh,
They, I mean, he wasn't like old Bill Cosby
that. Yeah.
slipping people Mickeys and shit. Well, I don't know. Like I said, that was a pretty creepy movie. So today, man, what I wanted to do is I was pulling up some information that we had talked about in chat again, and I figured I would do it. I mentioned earlier that the topics for tonight, and they don't have to just be them; they're just talking points. But what I wanted to mention was the External Revenue Service that Donald Trump has just started, the ERS.
Mhm.
And that was
So yeah, you'd have to clarify.
that was something that I wanted to do. And then earlier this week, Mr. Robot started talking about Sirhan, and his attempts to be paroled from prison. Now, if nobody knows who that is, Sirhan was the one who assassinated Robert Kennedy, and I figured we could go over some of that because that is actually a pretty interesting story. And then earlier this week too, you, Mark Edworthy, posted England's birthday. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
thought,
I actually just rewatched that just before we came on there,
Mhm.
or we listened to it, didn't we?
well, I mean, I want to get into that too because we've been actually doing good conversations on our show. Roger's Real Time Talk show about history and stuff, and I wanted to kind of go over that too and see some of it, how accurate it really is. Because, like, when it comes
Okay.
when it comes to some of the stuff he says, I'm kind of, I know you're into the Lotus Eaters and everything, but like, they're they're stretching it on some of those points. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. It's just like your sherry US wine point.
No, it has this actually has nothing to do with the United States, to be honest. Like
Okay.
this has to. Well, the Magna Carta was pretty cool when they were talking about the Magna
Yeah,
Carta.
the first half,
It's
first part.
it's really amazing that nobody actually brought has. More people should be talking about the Magna Carta in England.
I mentioned it on yesterday's show.
Well, I mean, like other than us, like
Okay.
we always talk about the important stuff. You know what I mean? But I was really glad to hear that. You know. So basically, what it was is on the External Revenue Service in the early days of Donald Trump's campaign, um, and even into his inauguration, he announced the creation of a new federal agency, which is
We talking about his last election, not the election before.
well, where he no in this one when he was running for
Oh,
president.
okay. Yeah, I don't know if he discussed it in his previous election.
Uh, but he talked about it, and then eventually he did get it going. It's a federal agency that's known as the External Revenue Service. Now,
Mhm.
now this agency, according to statements that he made at his inauguration, which he said to the press in a press conference, is supposed to be designed to oversee the collection of all revenues that derive from foreign trade. Now, this is supposed to include tariffs, import duties, and additional levies placed on goods and services that enter the United States. Okay. Um,
Okay.
and the stated aim is for this is to use these foreign-based revenues to fund domestic programs. Okay, which
I always how is tax? How is the sort of tax being collected at the moment?
Well, to be honest, I have absolutely no idea.
It sounds like trying to centralize bureaucracy. So it sounds like a good idea. If it means the reduction in civil servants, reduction in departments, and he's trying to centralize, amalgamate these departments, then that's sounds like a good idea, doesn't it?
Well, he goes further with it. Like he theoretically, he says that it'll reduce or even eliminate the need for domestic programs, like the internal,
That's a bit of a claim, but
like
he
the
likes to um, promote his own self. But that's yeah, potentially, but knowing how the bureaucratic system works, no, it won't.
well, he claims that it could possibly eliminate the IRS. Theoretically, he claims that. So
Right, yeah.
now the the thing is it's like I know he's pulling a lot of money when it comes to these tariffs. Like it's really amazing how much money he's pulling off of these tariffs. You know what I mean? So
But isn't it still like for like tariffs? If the Hansi and Chinese US argument, US raised its tariffs to the same point as China, and then China raised, then US raised, then China raised, then US raised. But yeah, isn't it still like for like tariffs?
that would all make sense, and it would be cool. You know what I mean to discuss. But I actually did like research on the history of this. Okay, when it comes to this whole tariffs in foreign countries. And it's really interesting because this could actually work. Okay.
Yeah, I've argued this in the past on
Now,
multiple
now
occasions.
historically, the United States relied on customs duties and tariffs for a long, long time up until the New Deal, where freaking they started incorporating income taxes. Okay.
So we from 1945 to 1950,
Yeah. That
then for 3, 4.
when they started incorporating the IRS and the income taxes,
Okay.
that's when they stopped relying on tariffs. And before income taxes were being implemented, that's how they funded the federal government here in the United States is through.
When did income taxes become a thing? Again, I presume 1945.
Yeah, it was right around 1945. It wasn't Eisenhower. It was Roosevelt who started it.
Okay.
He implemented it right whenever he started his New Deal programs and stuff like
Okay.
that. And he said at the time that it was supposed to only be temporary, but that ended
Yeah.
up becoming a permanent thing. So, and now before the adoption of the income tax, which was like you said in the early 20th century, resources were primarily uh, uh, funded by foreign tariffs and stuff like that. So there is a good chance that it could work out if they go back to that. Um, Now, how they used to do it is that customs used to have like custom houses, like at major ports and everything of entry.
Mhm.
And
Yeah. Throughout the UK, you've got old. I can think of quite a few old buildings from dating back to 17th, 18th century that are custom houses.
and
There's a market in a one that's only like 20 miles, about 20 miles away from me. That's a good market that runs on Wednesdays and Saturdays in there.
yeah, So that right there is what they used to do. Um, so that's most likely, in my opinion, what they'll end up re-implementing here. Um,
Mm.
they'll start taxing imports as they come into the ports. You know what I mean? Like they'll have these houses set up, and that's where the payments will be. Either that, or they might do it just uh, over the internet. You know what I mean? Where you just pay before they even get here. So
Yeah, sort of. Yeah.
you know, but that's how they used to do it back in the day.
Well,
So
not the internet.
now, my only issue with all of this is the fact that he wants to do this through freaking Homeland Department of Homeland Security. You know, I've always been distrustful of the Department of Homeland Security. You know, it's just um,
I think it's centralising too far. I think the remit of the Homeland Security is not fitting for the purpose of this.
right.
It has to be its own department. It has to be independent. It has to at least look independent of another department.
Now, it was officially unveiled on the 20th of January during his inauguration. Executive
Okay.
orders were signed that same day, redirecting the Treasury Department and the Department of Homeland Security and the Department of Commerce to begin transferring the responsibility of foreign revenue collection to the new entity. So, okay, so
So if the Commerce Department given responsibility to the Homeland, does that mean the Homeland now has greater power over taxation?
it, well, that's
In
the thing.
theory.
That's the thing, though. Like, the Department of Homeland Security is supposed to also transfer their responsibility of foreign revenue over to this new entity, which is going to
Okay.
be External
Okay.
Revenue Service. So, money wise, they're this organization is going to have all of the power from the Treasury Department, Homeland Security, and the Department of Commerce all in one. So
Okay, that's a bit. Just depends on how extreme the powers are.
now, when I pulled up from it, is it says under this plan, the External Revenue Service would centralize all operations related to tariff enforcement and reporting. Um,
This requires a bill. I presume there's a bill in circulation.
yeah, well, actually, this is something that I believe he can enforce on his own through through his executive powers.
Yeah, but it still needs a bill to, or an act to actually determine um, what powers that the department has and how it relates to other departments. So
Well,
yes, it still requires a bill, nevertheless.
if it was, if
Sure,
it
he can sign in the department into existence himself, but he cannot decide on the actual processes
see
of the
this,
department.
but this is actually the this is the point that is important to understand. Um, the Internal Revenue Service is not constitutionally legal according to
Okay,
constitutional law.
yeah, yeah, you've
So
argued this before.
now the thing about it is like with this External Revenue Service, it may not be constitutionally legal either. So they could do the same thing that they did with the IRS, which is um, expand their plenary powers and create the External Revenue Service with the powers of the executive office. You know what I'm saying? But it would be an NGO.
Yeah,
instead of it being an actual government office because
Okay. It'd be a private sector company with
right,
state assistance, if you
yeah,
like.
yeah. Well, it's like our Social Security office here in the United States. That's an NGO as well. Like they
Yeah.
they're constitutionally it's constitutionally illegal for a government office to exist that does that. So that's what they do. They separated it. I think
Mm.
the Department of Motor, the DMV, is the only one that's actually like a state office. Um,
And therefore under greater scrutiny.
mhm.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't really know how they're going to do that. Now, it's like I said, if they do or if they are capable of doing this, it would be great and everything. But what my question is how effective would this department be? You know what I mean? Because like,
You can only know it when um, you can only taste the cake after you bake it.
well, I mean, is it really going to be necessary? Is my whole point. You know what I'm saying? Like they already did.
Is it necessary? Is bureaucracy necessary for the sake of bureaucracy?
You know, right? And it's like a lot of people haven't even talked about this either. But like the Doge program, where they went through and they did that audit on all these uh, programs, and they pulled all that
Mm.
money out, and they said, we've got all this money, and what did they do? They funneled it right back into the government. You know what I mean? Every single penny they found
Yeah.
from Doge, they funneled it right back into government offices.
It's like the UK government when Major Reeves after the elections said we've just discovered that we owe 20 billion pounds extra in debt. Um, and then later on, sending off the Jacobs Islands for and giving away an extra 20 billion pounds.
Yeah,
Yeah, same
exactly.
thing since then. Yeah,
Well, I think it was 20 billion that freaking Elon and them found, wasn't it? The same amount.
something like that. Yeah, 20 seems to be the magic word number.
Well, maybe the reason why you guys found out that you were like 20 billion in debt was because freaking we found out that our $20 billion that was going into
No,
these programs.
20 billions in debt because Rachel Reeves, when she was the shadow minister for the Exchequer, was incompetent and still is, in my opinion, incompetent.
Well, maybe she, being incompetent, was taking money from our incompetent bureaucracies that were like pushing all those crazy programs.
And you were taking your ideas from our incompetent governments.
Yeah, well, that could
Typical.
that could be actually the case. Just so it's like now, I did make a note of some stuff, and I wanted to go ahead and read it and see what your take is on it. And it's not really all that long. It's not going to take forever, but it's a little bit of a read. So let me go ahead and do it. It's just a note that I wanted to pull up or wanted to do that goes along with this stuff now. So according to the administration's proposal, this new agency is intended not only to increase federal revenue through more aggressive enforcement of existing trade laws, but also to shift the economic burden of government funding away from the individual taxpayers. Trump and his allies argue that if foreign producers wish to access the American market, they should help bear the financial cost of maintaining the federal government. By collecting funds directly from international sources, the government hopes to lessen or even remove the need for income taxes on its own population. Supporters of the initiative claim that the External Revenue Service will promote economic nationalism and restore fairness to the American economy. And I seen you making funny faces, so go ahead and make your comment.
The American economy. God bless America. Should I stand up and state? um, yeah. Yeah. Carry on.
Okay. So they argue that previous trade policies allowed foreign nations to benefit from access to American markets without contributing financially to the system that supports those markets. By capturing this revenue, they believe the United States can reduce its reliance on debt, lowering domestic taxes, and stimulate domestic industry. Now, I'll go ahead.
Yeah, that's been at least demonstrated by companies like Apple and Nvidia at the moment. They're bringing jobs back into the US.
Mhm. Well, the thing about that that really sticks out to me, and a lot of people are in denial of this, and it's really weird that the Republicans are freaking actually admitting this because they usually don't want to admit it. But like the United States government relies on debt. You know what I mean?
Well, the entire fiat, the Keynesian model is based on debt.
Right. Like the more in debt me and
Yeah.
everybody else is in this country is, the better off our government is. You know what I'm saying? Because they're siphoning off of our debt and actually making a profit from it.
Yeah, since World War II, every single westernized country has taken the model,
Mm-hmm.
um, and which was expanded on in the 70s and 80s, especially in the 70s.
Things like corporate welfare is another thing that a lot of
Yeah,
people,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know what I mean? Like corporate welfare is another part of that where these corporations are actually on a welfare system like the individuals are. And in order for them to stay on that corporate welfare, they have to freaking just start pushing out these job applications for people to freaking come work at their job, and they hire them
Mm.
whoever comes in, and they're okay with that because they can quickly fire them and replace them with somebody else.
If a good example of this is in the computer games industry, Activision is a big actor in this situation, in which the turnover in staff numbers is extremely high, and a lot of unfair working practices allegedly happen in the games industry. And I say allegedly,
Mm-hmm.
um, but they because of a piece of legislation that was passed many years ago in the UK that allowed government aid to small, which was intended as small computer game developers,
Mm-hmm.
companies, in publishing houses in the UK. Activision has used that as well as a lot of other AAA games publishers in the UK. But so they receive in something like 60% more subsidies than they actually pay into the tax in the UK tax system in the first place through national insurance contributions, um, corporate taxes and stuff. They receive 60% more money from the taxpayer than they put into the tax system in the UK.
It's just sad. And then, like, I think our biggest example is the Ford. Is Ford? They,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? We bailed them out of freaking losing everything back. I think it was back during the Obama era, whenever he was in office. We bailed them out. They've been in corporate welfare ever since. And then what do they do whenever all of this stuff with Trump happens? They start saying, well, you know what? We don't want to put up with that. And they threaten to move out of the country. And I don't think they have, but I think, I don't know for sure if they have or not.
Wasn't the rumor that John Deere was actually advertising them moving out of the country
Yeah.
because of this? They wanted to publicize, they wanted to, well, threaten the government in effect.
Yeah. Well, John Deere actually got their asses whooped because they, like, a lot of customers that they have.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
Really, what?
Again, I think I've spoken on one of these streams about customer satisfaction, John Deere, and the emerging farming, small industries, the emerging market there
Yeah,
on the previous stream.
yeah. I think it was on Naroki's show you was talking about it.
Could be, could
It
be.
was, Naroki was bringing it up when he was talking about the woke movement and how John Deere was
Yeah.
involved in all of it,
Mm,
which which is a good thing to bring up too, because like John Deere, to be honest with you, I don't really agree with John Deere, and I don't agree with a lot of the things that are going on in the agricultural or in the agriculture
mm.
department. Like Department of Agriculture here in the United States is just pushing out the genetically modified food thing. Like they
Well, um, the that department is well known for corruption and lobbyists.
but you know what I mean though. It's like it's
Yeah,
right in your face when
yeah,
I like to watch Ag Day and everything. And at one time back in the day, man, they were freaking a pretty legit channel. Whenever you watched them, they were talking about farmers and tractors and stuff like that.
okay. Uh, and
But
again, don't take very much interest in US farming. I live in the middle, the southwest in the UK. I've got farms all over the place.
you're just bored with it. You intellectual, you freaking. But my whole point is though is just like I've been going on there now, and it's like they're just pushing the genetically modified shit. Like it's just no big deal, you know. Like oh
Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
you guys need to buy this white corn. It's just the best, and the pesticides are there to make sure that the bugs don't eat it. You know what I
That
mean?
we know the Department of Agriculture and the Food and Drug Administration are two of the most, corrupt industry departments in the
Nuts.
um, U.S. federal system.
Yep. And when it comes to the prices of like the actual tractors, okay, they
Mm.
nobody even cares about the fact that it's at its highest rates now. Like used tractors are at all time
Yeah,
records. And
yeah. Like I said, like I was saying about the emerging markets, you are seeing a lot of small companies emerging at this present moment, and the major issue with John Deere is not only with their uh, expectation of work or jobs, but it's also with things like tying more of their equipment into firmware software that they've got rights to. So if you want to repair or update your equipment, you are beholden upon that one company to provide that information, and you're contractually obliged to agree to them. You
so,
can't stick your. It's not. Yeah, I want to see an open source tractor.
you're
If
not
there's any companies that produce open source tractors,
okay. So tractors are real. Okay, just putting it out there so
yeah,
that you know tractors are
no,
real. Yeah, they're not an internet platform or anything. They're real. So how do you make something
See them
real
all the time.
physical into an open source? Okay.
Software. Having all their schematics
Oh,
released
okay.
publicly,
I got you.
all
I
of it.
got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything. Yeah.
And then all sort of firmware you can upgrade, modify yourself.
Took me a second.
You can, as long as it's within legal requirements, you can change any hardware on the tractor.
Well, this comes all the way back though to freaking free market though. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
like people who are running their corporations and their companies, you know, I mean, they have like a constitutional right here in the United States to keep those secrets. You know what I mean?
Mm,
So,
mm,
yeah.
mm.
So that's that kind of goes against it. Now, if they want to
But
volunteer that, that would be cool.
on
Hold
the
on.
other side of the argument, it's a free market. Somebody
Right.
wants to create an open source tractor, and they've got the ability to, or they've got the
Yeah.
possibility of doing.
You know, that's what I was saying too. It's like if they volunteer to do it, that'd be great. You know what I mean?
Mm,
But don't have any kind of regulations that force people to do it. Is all I'm saying, because that would.
indeed.
You know. Now, critics, however, have raised significant concerns about both the feasibility and the legality of such an agency. More economists argue that tariffs are ultimately paid by domestic customers, not foreign exports, as the costs are passed down through supply chains. And right there, I want to stop and talk about that because, you know, there's one thing I do agree with. I was listening to Censorship Sucks the other night, and he brought something up, and he asked everybody on his panel the same thing. Like, has there been any effects that you've seen caused because of these tariffs? And nobody had seen any, and that's something that I thought was important too because
About the allegation that Walmart makes all the time. We've got to increase our. I think the US dollar store actually does it as well. They've got to increase prices because of tariffs.
no, I mean none of that has actually affected us. Like there's been no raise in prices because of tariffs or anything.
People who shop in Walmart and dollar stores.
Mm-mm, nothing,
Uh,
nothing. There's been
I
no
bet
layoff.
foreign, but U.S. citizens tend to just buy from U.S. companies anyway, don't they? Oh, they with companies with U.S. shop fronts anyway. So, how many U.S. citizens use Amazon, Alibaba, eBay to buy from directly from China?
Well, that's the thing that's going on too. Like here, when it comes to the internet, you know how I'm into the streaming and everything, and
Mm,
I'll go and I'll pay attention to a lot of these other streamers, and especially the ones that are into like the tractors. I mentioned this to you before, but like they'll get on the internet and they'll do these streams about working outdoors, and they've got these tractors or
mm,
they've got farm equipment, and these people are actually getting on YouTube and saying that they're being financially affected because now they have to buy American made equipment that's more expensive rather than
yeah.
buying a freaking tractor from you know.
But if there's an emerging market set, then you're going to see prices start to fluctuate quite crazy.
Well, I mean, you know, the thing about that is it's like they're to me they're telling on themselves. Like this whole not buying from the United States because it's cheaper is actually becoming an issue. It really is. And then when these people get on there and they start talking about, well, oh my goodness, I'm not going to be able to freaking do these streams anymore because that poor or that horrible Donald Trump is forcing me to have
Okay, that sounds like sob stories to me.
You know what I mean? It's ridiculous, and it is. It's happening on YouTube all over the place now.
I've not I've not seen any.
Um, it's ridiculous. Well, like my dad, he's into this one guy who does. It's working outdoors where he does freaking logs and things of that nature.
Yeah.
And then he likes to watch videos where these guys will go out and they'll mow yards for free and stuff. Those guys haven't been doing any bitching or anything like that. But that's
Okay.
you know what I mean. But my dad watches that kind of stuff, and then he watches Rail Fan. So, like, have you ever seen Rail Fan?
No.
People just watch railroads. They love to watch railroads and railroad stations.
What, like train spotters?
Yeah,
We call them in UK.
that's
Uh,
trains.
train spotters.
The cool word now with all the hip cool kids is rail fans.
Okay.
They've graduated.
Something like an American thing.
No,
We don't call no. We would call them train tracks in the UK.
well, you know the guy I always call Rockstar on here, right? Rockstar 69.
Okay. Yeah.
He's over in England and he does that stuff. He,
Okay.
he's got his own channel over there. It's Ian something. He goes from train station to train station with him and his brother, and they make their own videos of it. So he's right there. Um, weird stuff, man. But people love it. They they film that stuff all the time.
Okay.
So
We witness it all day.
now that was the reason why I wanted to stop that, because I don't personally see any effects on the or around here when it comes to these tariffs.
Mm.
Now they also point out that increased tariffs may lead to retaliation by other countries, sparking trade wars. That's
Yeah, as we saw in with China.
yeah, and they've already done that with Canada too. But
Yeah, but not at such a level.
yeah, and I to be honest with you, I haven't seen where these supposed trade wars have affected anything. You know what I mean? It hasn't. It hasn't really done any damage to freaking.
I double checked this. On the day that um the signing of the British and US trade agreement was meant to sign, the final day of, it was actually never signed. It was never actually formally agreed upon.
Really,
Really.
that's pretty shifty.
And the day lapsed about a week and a half ago. Was
So,
whenever that was,
has,
Tuesday.
has it been mentioned in your media?
No,
See, right?
I saw this on some small channel, but yeah, but no. I think it was around the 1st or 2nd of the month. It was meant to be signed on.
See what I'm saying? It's like right here, dude. We get it first. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, right there. You just put it out there, dude. It's, so
Again, it wasn't. It wasn't at the. I heard the story halfway through the day, so there was still half a day to go. So unless it was formally signed within that couple hours, then it's never actually been signed, formally agreed on.
now, another thing too. One thing that I did forget that we should revisit on is like this whole thing about the actual organization being created. Now, if it was like it was before with the IRS, where it was created from scratch, that would be one thing. But some people have brought it up too, where they said on a legal legal scholars, I guess you could call them, have mentioned, the fact that um, since there's already a federal agency that performs these tasks when it comes to tariffs and stuff like that, um, when it comes to creating a new organization, then would it need congressional approval? You know what I mean? Because you
Yeah, again, yeah, I would imagine that, like I said, for the purpose, he can sign in. Trump can sign in a department, but the processes still have to go through a bill, through an act.
no, for me, I could see that because it's already handled by an existing agency that is a federal agency. You know what I mean? Well,
Mm.
actually, if it's going to be a federal agency too, if like the External Revenue Service is going to be a federal
Yeah.
agency too.
Again, the external sort of represents no. Um, but then again, the word external could mean several different things in this concept. Who knows? I would imagine it would be a governmental agency, federal.
Well, there's a lot of things too, like the Treasury officials. Okay, they've already issued statements about this, and they suggested that with the shift of responsibilities, it's going to require like major legislation, and
Mm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm thinking that.
because like you're going to have to look at budgetary approval, you're going to have
Yeah,
statutory authority, uh,
yeah,
and things of that nature. So. Um, Now, the thing of it is like, yeah, okay, the executive branch can begin the process, to form the External Revenue Service, but will Congress ultimately need to authorize its funding and operation? You know what I mean, and the framework, and things of that nature. That's another thing to kind of look at too.
Well, if it's a government agency, then it does. If it's a crango, then not so much,
Yeah.
in effect.
Now, hearings are expected to begin within a few months, and the political opposition is already mounting from members of both parties um, who are questioning it. You know what I mean? So,
Okay. So there's going to have to be a bill written, if the one doesn't exist already.
yeah, and this is actually something that's popping up not just from the Democrats but from the Republicans too. Like they're kind of leery on the whole thing. Not as much as what the Democrats, because like with the Democrats, they're jumping at anything that they can freaking get on. You know what I mean?
Because,
The ship's
because,
the ship's sinking, so they need to freaking get something. It was like the other day, I seen this one dude who's a Democrat talking about, well, the people need to know the truth about the Epstein files. When has
I saw something, just a headline today, which I just skimmed over, that Trump is going to attempt to release everything. But
I,
again, that was a very vague headline.
yeah, he he's already lost his grounds on that one. I think he's done for. Like everything he has just said in the last week has just bottomed him out. He will never freaking be president again, dude.
Well,
Okay.
he can't be. This is his second term anyway.
He had one in between.
So he can't either way.
You can't have two terms consecutive. Okay,
I
so
thought there was just two terms, full
no,
stop.
no. You have two
Okay.
terms. You can quit, or you can leave office, and then you can come back and run for president again.
Yeah. This has happened before.
Yep.
I
But
can remember. Oh,
but this guy sat there and he said, the people need to know the truth. And I'm sitting there thinking, dude, when the hell did freaking Democratic Party or the Democrat Party even give a damn about the Epstein files. You know what I'm saying? This was always like the
It's a spread and circus situation. The Epstein, it's caught the public imagination for good reason. But yeah, it
that's
is a smoke streets.
it's well. I'm just saying though too is it's ridiculous because like now all of a sudden they're interested in it. They didn't believe any of that stuff. It was always people who, well, most of the people who are Trump supporters, you know what I mean, and people who are part of the alternative alt media groups here that believed in that stuff. You know, it was never the Democrats. They're the ones that used to criticize that kind of shit. You know, like
Yeah. But the release or any further releases will just tar both parties anyway. So yeah, some of it could be related to face haven.
now, um, just to set it straight too, as it stands right now, the Internal Revenue Service is still fully operational. So,
Yeah.
and there's been no um, existing tax codes that has been changed. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. This is so early in the situation. If there isn't even a bill out yet.
Right. And
Um, in a couple of weeks' time, months' time, then let's talk about it in much more detail. But at the moment, this sort of flaky new tabloid newspaper headlines.
right. Well, it's also it functions like this external revenue service right now only functions as like a special task force within
Yeah,
within the Treasury Department. They're not even
yeah,
their own organization or anything. You know, like the IRS is. Um,
yeah.
so that's something that really does need to be brought up. So
But that agency has got a lot of power anyway. It's got a lot of different departments within it.
well, it's like I said at the beginning. I'm already leery of the uh, homeland security. I just don't trust,
Yeah, that sound.
I don't trust that organization at all. Um, it's pretty nefarious from the
But
get.
then again, you said it's going to be its own department.
Yeah, it's
It may that be a NGO or a government, a natural governmental agency. So yeah, we'd love to see how it goes.
no. I mean, if he can pull it off, I would love to see the federal income taxes just gone. You know what I mean? And
But that's not going to happen.
it
I
would
can
be
tell you that now. How much debt is your country in? How much debt above GDP is your country in?
it's just under $1 trillion, I believe.
How much rates do you pay per day
Well,
per
see,
hour
that's the good
compared to
part.
GDP?
That's the good part. If they get rid of federal income tax, okay, that means that you guys are going to be paying our bills, which is going to be awesome. Like the
If
Brits.
we buy from you,
That's right. Well,
yeah.
you are going to have to buy from us. You have
No,
nobody. You have nobody.
China, Europe,
You guys have
the,
nobody.
the goddamn EU,
Dude, there's
Russia,
nobody competes. Okay,
UAE,
period. You know it.
Australia, New Zealand.
You know it, dude. They buy from us. Okay, like
Yeah, yeah, but we can buy from China.
you know better than that. You know that's not going to work.
Right?
The only thing you guys buy that doesn't belong to us is oil, and you get that from Russia.
Europe, I've got plenty of equipment here that are European manufactured,
From
totally
Poland.
manufactured.
Keep buying
Huh?
that Poland. Keep buying that
Uh, no,
equipment.
my Bluetooth headsets are of
That cheap
Norway.
Polish.
My watch is from Germany. The Zippo is obviously from the US, but I buy a lot. I actually buy a lot of equipment from China directly. So yeah, because Chinese, depending on what you buy, and quality, again dependent, and also price.
Yeah, price is probably more.
Price is probably is the main thing. From you, it's extremely expensive to buy from you, and always has been, to buy directly from the US, as far as British is concerned.
Yeah, yeah. That's well. I know how you guys are. You guys like that EU. Let's just dump freaking products onto the, you know, commodities market. Like dumping is a big deal over there because you guys get all the garbage. And that's
But we also got some good stuff as well.
well, you have to sort through it. It's like
Of
looking
course,
through a
of
trash
course, it's
pile.
like any, yeah. If you're
Yeah,
shopping for something, yeah, you got to sort through
you
what you
keep
want, what
you
you
live
don't.
too close to the EU, and you know that's what the EU is doing. That's all they're doing. They're allowing freaking these.
No, EU is always been pushing for the internal market to outcompete external markets. So as a union, um,
Well,
and
union.
the point of Maastricht Treaty.
You know what I'm talking about when I'm saying dumping, right? Like they're dumping freaking garbage commodities
Yeah,
into.
but they also do that in the US. How many
It's technically
garbage?
it's technically illegal here, dude. Like they get away with that in LA County, you know, where they got these little freaking storage bins sitting up in downtown LA, and you can walk up and you can see all their freaking Chinese umbrellas and shit.
Yeah, I haven't watched it in ages, but there's a old US TV show related to people just going to random um, garages and buying everything in there and trying to make profit out of it.
Yeah. Now, to be honest, I really don't care much about the rest of what I pulled up here on the thing. Um, Now, if you want to, man, let's put some music on. I gotta go to the bathroom, and we can come back,
Fair enough.
and maybe freaking Mr. Robot will come in or be
Maybe.
awake by the time we get to Syringe or oh my god, I can't believe it. Saran,
Yeah.
and talk about him and get that started because it really is actually an interesting thing. A lot of talk has been coming up here lately about him being paroled. And I think,
Okay. Again, it's not a story I am all that aware of.
you know about or Robert Kennedy, right? Being assassinated.
Yeah. But I don't know the details of.
So, so after I get back, we can get into that. And I'll put on some cool music because I know how much you love the
Yeah, I
nice,
love.
you love the nice, easy music of Mr. Robot. You might want to hit mute. Just giving you heads up. You might want to hit mute. So here we go, guys. This is Mr. Robot, aka Illuminati. You can check him out on Rumble, on his channel Hacker Radio. So here we go. Let's see. I'll give it a background photo, and we'll be right back.
Money buys power, can't you see? In this land of the free, breathe the only key. Money buys power, can't you see? In this land of the free, breathe the only key. power, can't you see? This land of the free, greed's the only key, greed's the only key. Money buys power, can't you see? In this land of the free, greed's the only key, greed's the only key, greed's the only key, greed's the only key. Money buys power, can't you see? This land of the free, greed's the only key, greed's the only key. Money buys power, can't you see? This land of the free, greed's the only key, greed's the only key. Elon's billions fuel the flame, Red Hat has march all the same. Supreme Court plays the game. Elon's billions fuel the flame, feeding lies that chaos brings, buried under kings. Greed's the only key. Greed's the only key, greed's the only key. Elon's billions fuel the flame, Red Hat has march all the same. Greed's the board plays the game, greed's the only key. Elon's billions fuel the flame, Red Hat's last march all the same. Supreme Court plays the game, greed's the only key. Elon's billions fuel the flame, Red Hat has march all the same. Supreme Court plays the game. Elon's billions fuel the flame, feeding lies that chaos brings, buried under kings. Money buys power, can't you see? In this land of the free, greed's the only key. Elon's billions fuel the flame, Red Hat's march all the same. Supreme Court plays the game.
Where the smoke, tobacco, cigarettes before midday, I coughed up along around one. I can't see a thing through my eyes that sting. I can't remember having so much fun. Well, I've never had so much fun. No, I've never had so much fun. I can't remember when I've ever had so much fun. Can't drink the water in Sydney, can't eat the food in Japan, and you can't breathe the air in Los Angeles, but a million people think they can. And I've never had so much fun. No, I've never had so much fun. I can't remember when I've ever had so much fun. Can't drink the water in Sydney, can't eat the food in Japan, and you can't breathe the air in Los Angeles, but a million people think they can. And I've never had so much fun. No, I've never had so much fun. I can't remember when I've ever had so much fun. These wankers filled up with hatred, why expect any less? They can't decide about genocide, I think it's time that they took a rest. And I've never had so much fun. No, I've never had so much fun. I can't remember when I've ever had so much fun. These wankers filled up with hatred, why expect any less? They can't decide about genocide, I think it's time that they took a rest. And I've never had so much fun. No, I've never had so much fun. I can't remember when I've ever had so much fun.
Come on, honey, let the good times roll.
time roll. Good times roll. Harder. Come on, honey, let the good time roll. Let's roll. Come on, honey, let the good time roll. Good times roll.
Yeah, everybody, let's have some fun. You only live but once, and when you're dead, you're done. So let the good time roll. I say let the good time roll. I don't care if you're young or old. You ought to get together and let the good time roll. Don't sit there mumbling, talking trash.
Silent as the moon's eclipse, I stalk the concrete veins. Cloaked in chaos, art of war, blood courses through my veins. Suns who whisper, strike like thunder, crush them where they stand. Blades auroric, I dissect the weak with bare hands. Shuriken tongues split your jugular, lyrics ricochet. Invisible like midnight fog, then poof, I'm in your face. You think you're armored, nah, I slip through cracks like smoke. One slice, your empire chokes. Checkmate, this is war I spoke. Ghost in the machine, I phase through your defenses. Feed your ego to the crows, no mercy, no repentance. You'll never see me coming, just the shadow where I stood. A flicker, then your kingdom's drowned in ash and brotherhood. I am the storm in the silence, blazed in the fire of 1,000 suns' violence. Be my samurai, loyalty or demise. Cross me once, meet the reaper staring through my eyes. I cut through the night like a banshee. Steel kisses cold as the tundra. Pray your gods can teach me. Need your protection too late, you're already dead. My shadow's the last thing you'll see as I leave your head. I don't fight wars, I design a map, your doom in ink. Faint left then vanish, watch your ranks collapse, you blink. Appear weak then break their spine, Sun Tzu's my scripture. Drip venom in your veins, let doubt fester like a stricture. Ninjato flow, split your ego into confetti. You're spitting flames, I'm the void, suffocate, no oxygen petty. Ambush in the cipher, strike from trenches of your mind. Leave your carcass as a warning, mess with gods, get blind. Kamikaze cadence, crash through your barricades. Turn your pride to ruin, salt the earth where your flag laid. I'm the unseen plague.
Okay, I ended that. Bet you're happy. Yeah, had to unmute that. You good?
Yep, I'm
You
cool.
sound good. You sound good. Okay. So we are back. Like I said before, that is Mr. Robot, aka Illuminati, on Rumble. You can check out his channel on Rumble at Hacker Radio. So if you like what you heard, go over there, check him out, tell him how much you like his music, like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. So I don't know why I had an issue saying Sirhan, but that's his name. Whenever
Okay.
we were getting ready to take our break, I had a hard time saying it. But Sirhan was the guy that I wanted to move on to. He is the person who murdered Bobby Kennedy or Robert Kennedy. That would have been John F. Kennedy's brother and RFK, his dad, the guy who's in office now with Donald Trump. Just so
Okay.
now, the story behind Sirhan is really interesting. Have you heard anything about him?
I'm just looking for the Wikipedia entry now.
So, now Sirhan was supposed to have shot Bobby Kennedy in the kitchen after he in the little kitchenette area to the side after he did a speech. Now, the circumstances that are involved in there is kind of weird. Um, not the fact that he did or he didn't do it, because not like with JFK, you know what I mean? Like there isn't a no or anything, a suspicion of another person being involved or anything like that. Sirhan actually admits that he did do it. Okay, but the story that goes on behind that is pretty strange on its own too by itself. Now I've watched interviews with him on it. He did an interview back in 1989 for the Inside Edition, and he started getting into some conversations that about what had led up to it. Now, one thing that he said in that interview, which they didn't bring up in his parole interview, was that he felt betrayed because of what Bob Kennedy did during that time period. He claims that he was a fan of Bobby Kennedy because Bobby Kennedy at that time, a lot of people thought that he was like this basically like the savior of the downtrodden. You know what I mean? He represented the downtrodden, and a lot of people during that time period who were from the Middle East really looked up to him because that's who they thought he was talking about. Well, what happened?
Uh, Hang on, I'm reading here that the actual attack was happened on exactly a year after the Arab Israel conflict of '67.
This is where it
So,
gets. This is where it gets interesting. That's what I was getting ready to get into. Now he said that the reason why he became upset with Kennedy was because Kennedy said in his speech that he was getting ready to send jets over to Israel.
mm,
Okay, that had to do with that conflict, and it really upset him. Now, go ahead.
just it's worth mentioning that this person never became a U.S. citizen and always retained his Jordanian citizenship.
Hmm. Now, besides all of that, too, what's the thing about it was is months before the assassination, um, Sirhan actually had a diary or had a number of diaries, and in that diary he would always write repeatedly, "RFK must die." You know what I mean? And and like this interview that he did on his pardon thing, you know what I mean? None of that was ever brought up. Like they keyed in on the area where, because he's always said this. He said that during the time that it happened, he was drunk. He says he's not much of a drinker, and he got really, really, really drunk, and he doesn't even remember having the gun or shooting him. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Uh,
Did we,
now, the odd part about that is the fact that he had the gun, you know what I mean, and he swears up and down he didn't know that he had it. Well, how do you not know that you picked the gun up and put it on yourself? You know what I mean, before you got drunk. That's one thing that really stuck out to me that I thought was pretty strange. Um, and then after that, he starts uh, talking about how this woman who uh, bumps into him during the convention, I guess, while he was drinking, starts talking to him and everything, and he wanted to go and get coffee, is what the story was. This was just before the assassination, and see what happened was is they had changed plans on which direction Kennedy was going to leave the conference. And that's another thing that makes it really mysterious. They made it to where when he left the convention, he was going to go through the kitchen area, which wasn't planned. Okay. Um,
mm,
so Sirhan said that he wanted to get some coffee, and this girl apparently led him to the kitchen area um, because he wanted to get coffee. So they were looking around for coffee, and this supposed police officer came and told them that they had to move from the area because they had to use that area for another purpose. Now, this is where it gets kind of interesting because this is where Bobby Kennedy was supposed to walk through. And I'd, I'd seen another video, and I swear to God I've seen it, but I can't find it anywhere on YouTube. And it was a video that came out um, that was related to they have another one out. It's called the Real Manchurian Candidate. It was a video
yeah,
that's
yeah.
out. You can watch it, but I've also seen another one where Sirhan was, I believe he was in prison when he did this video, and he point blanks says that he thinks that he's been hypnotized and that he was programmed to kill Bobby Kennedy, and that during the time they had a lot of cool names for MK Ultra. Manchurian Candidate
Okay.
was one of them. You know what I mean? That was one of the few names that they called it. And I remember that video, but to this day, I still can't find it anywhere. You know?
But according to this, he was a traumatized individual anyway. Born in, he was a result of the Palestinian Israel Arab issue. He was an Arab Palestine. He came from Arab Palestine Christian family in mandated Palestine pre 1948, 49. And then Jordan took over, annexed the West Bank, which resulted in the Arab-Israeli conflict, which was part of the Israel-Arab conflict. At 12 years old, his family immigrated to the US, moved to New York, then California. Went to college, blah blah blah. And yeah, he never sort of got over the Palestine war.
Yeah, but how old was he when he came to the United States, though?
12.
Yeah, like come on, dude, he got over it. 12 years old.
Eh? No, 12 years old. That would make
He said he was just a little bit over 20, I believe, whenever he actually killed
yeah. He was traumatized by the conflict in Israel.
at 12 years old.
Um, well, we're talking about a
Or
few years
previous,
earlier.
yeah,
Actually, a year earlier.
you know.
So yeah.
Well, I know he really did say that in the interviews he really did say that he looked up to him, and what it was is when he said that when RFK or Bobby, because Bobby Kennedy, when he said that he was going to send those jets over there to help support Israel, he felt betrayed. Okay,
Okay. Yeah.
and then previous to that, he had been writing in these diaries over and over again that RFK must die. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So that's the one thing that stuck out to me there. So I mean, even though but the weird part is like what I was saying about this girl. She was supposed to be with him, and they were going to get coffee, and she was supposed to have a polka dot dress on, and that's what Mr. Robot was referring to. Now the weird
Okay.
part of now the weird part about that, I would kind of brush that off, okay? But there is news footage of a black girl that was there, and she was being interviewed by the newscast. And this black girl said that she saw a girl leaving the area, and she said that she said we killed him, we killed him, and she said, "Who are you talking about?" She said, "We killed Bobby Kennedy," and then she ran. And she said at the time that it was a girl that was in a white dress with polka dots. So
Okay.
that is true. Okay. Um, Now she's the one who led him to the pantry. Okay, and when he makes it to the pantry, he said that he lost his memory. All right.
Okay.
Now in this video that was called "The Real Manchurian Candidate," and they talk about this, and I don't know how true it is. I do remember the video I watched of him that I can't find anywhere where he talks about it too. So he honestly believes this, in my opinion, that it is true that he was hypnotized into doing this, because what that video says is that she tapped him on the leg. He stood up and freaking well, first the guy who's the supposed police officer said that they had to leave, and she went to tap him on the leg, and that's when he stood up, grabbed the gun, and he said that it felt like he was shooting at the shooting range. Okay. And then when he finally came to, freaking, he said to himself, "Oh man, I'm not shooting at the shooting range and everything." And that's all he knew. He said he didn't even see Bobby Kennedy's body whatsoever. You know what I mean? So apparently, according to him, he blacked out. He killed Bob Kennedy, and that's all he
Mm.
knows. So that's the story I've pulled from it. What do you got there from the Wikipedia?
Just looking at how many times he was brought before the parole board, and
That's good.
how many times he's been denied.
How many?
Uh, uh, 2011, 2016, 2016, 2021, after the 16th appearance.
After the
In
16th?
2021, he was paroled.
Yeah, and then they they overturned it, didn't they?
That's not like it.
They
Oh,
overturned it.
yes, yeah. August 27th, 2021, posting the release.
Yeah.
And Kennedy wrote a essay in the New York Times saying that Syrian or whatever, did not deserve parole,
Yeah.
citing his lack of remorse and unwillingness to accept responsibility. 2022, Gavin Newsom denied his latest bid.
What year was that again?
22,
2022. Okay.
yeah, 2 years ago.
So yeah, he brought that up.
17th was on March 1st, 2023, and it was denied parole in March last year before last.
Let's see, Mr. Robot could come on here and start talking about the Illuminati and stuff like that, but he had to sleep overtime. He had to have that
Okay.
sleep. But
How is the Illuminati related to this?
trust me, we're
Okay.
talking about Mr. Robot. Okay, I guarantee you, the Illuminati has something. Trust me, the Illuminati has something to do with this. If it's because this was Mr. Robot who said that he wanted to, or who posted it. So I figured I would put it up here
Well,
and talk about it. But it is,
three documentaries have been made. RFK Must Die in 2007. A documentary called, or drama, sorry, a film was by the name of Bobby in 2006, and another television film, RFK, in 2002. I
yeah.
remember. Yeah.
I know that what I watched was actually just a video. It was a videoed interview. It wasn't an actual documentary or anything like that.
Notable inmates of California State Prison. Okay, yeah, there is a documentary recording comments from fellow inmates.
Hmm. They did the same thing with Charles Manson too. Like I thought that was pretty interesting. I got to go through some of the stuff that pertained to Charles Manson and some of the people that he was inmates with.
Mm.
And I found out a lot of interesting stuff. I brought it up even on Nancy's show, and like they don't believe it. Like they don't like a lot of the stuff, like the crazy stuff that Charles Manson was bringing up. He claimed actually when he was in prison wasn't even real. You know what I mean? He was just doing it for show because it was supposed to be like a cover. There was a lot more that was involved in that than just him wanting Helter Skelter and everything. Like the whole Helter Skelter thing was just him coming up with a crazy story so that he didn't have to tell people what the truth was, you know. Um, which I thought that was pretty interesting. And even in that respect, you can't take what Charles Manson said as being factual either. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, that's basically all that I really wanted to bring up about Sirhan, other than the fact about the polka dot dress thing. Now that is interesting. Like this girl, she just vanishes, and there is a witness who does say that a girl freaking ran out of the.
There was a witness. Is this witness still alive?
Well, that's the thing, man. Nobody knows. Nobody knows, and she's right there on the freaking.
After all, we're talking about what 52 years ago now.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
know, and this was journalists. They actually had freaking her on the video saying that she saw a girl who said that. I mean, that's the one thing out of all of it that's really really weird. So, you know what I mean? And Sirhan himself says straight up that he wasn't a part of any conspiracy. You know what I mean? Like this wasn't a group of people that came together with a plot to kill Bobby Kennedy. He says that himself. So, but maybe he was brainwashed into murdering somebody. But see, as far as I've heard that they can't convince people through hypnotism or brainwashing to murder another person yet. So I don't know how true that is. They said that. Well, maybe if you get somebody with mental issues.
Well, it depends on the individual. I've been up on stage and I attempted hypnotism by a stage. When I was a teenager, didn't work for me.
Mm-hmm. Well, plus, I mean, you got to take into consideration too, like if people freaking are mentally ill, then maybe it'd be easier to convince them to murder somebody else. You know what I mean? But I don't see like anybody with normal, healthy mental.
But he's a troubled person, or was a troubled person prior to that.
So if you want to, man, tell me a little bit about England's birthday, man.
England's birthday.
Yeah, I heard it was England's birthday.
What was it? July the 12th, that these people were suggesting that England's birthday based upon, what was it, King Alfred?
It was whoever ended up defeating King John.
So it would be prior to the 1066.
Mm-hmm. Now, that they said something on what do they call themselves? Something the bug eaters.
Oh, Lotus
eaters. Yeah, the Lotus eaters. They're the ones that brought it up, and they brought up some stuff that I thought would be cool to talk about, because like they made the claim that England had invented or came up with the concept of common law.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I just wanted to tell my part on that. Now, when it comes to common law in England, England didn't like actually freaking like set down standards for common law. You know what I mean? Common law in England, it like before when we were on the other show about property laws. Okay, it originated. Common law kind of gradually came into.
Yeah, it's an evolution thing. I mentioned this earlier. It's an evolutionary thing from local traditions to um, fiefdom law to what would become instead the Magna Carta,
Well, see, that's the
and the
thing,
Act
though.
of Rights and stuff.
That's the thing, though, about common law when it comes to England, because um, it wasn't created by like any single act or decree. Like the Magna Carta doesn't even apply when it comes to the common law. You know what I mean? Like that's actually true.
It codifies, well, yeah, in essence, it codifies common law.
Well, codify refers to like civil law, which you always have a problem with. Like,
Yeah, well, it provides a reference paper for what is common law.
right
Let's,
now,
let's put it that way.
after like it started evolving basically after the Norman conquest when that
Hmm.
happened in England. You know what I mean? And it
Yeah.
gradually started taking place. It became a legal system basically, but like there was no actual like act or decree or anything like that.
There
Um,
isn't a single creator.
right.
It's based. You say it was done after the Norman Conquest, 1066, but started well before that.
Right.
Um, yeah, but it was just to get it all written.
But I do have to say though it was developed through like judicial decisions and
Yeah.
royal administration and stuff like that. And also like this had more to do with like the royal family, and it had to do with like not not royals, but what are they called? Dukes and
Barons, a lot of
the nobles.
a lot of what England. Remember, this was at the time where England became a singular country.
Mhm. But it had more to do with nobility. Like a lot of the
Yeah,
stuff,
I was talking fiefdoms,
right?
barons.
Like poor peasants like you would still have no rights. And
Who knows? I could have been actually. Technically, I am a baron.
oh, you
I
are.
did,
I'm getting
did
excited.
many years ago in relation to my hereditary and dated back to 15th century baron or so of somewhere just off Munich.
Yeah,
So yeah, I've got my own coat of arms.
I'm excited, man. Now we got some money
The
flowing
family.
in.
And yeah, I am the oldest child of the oldest child.
That's it's
So
kind of like
yeah, call me Baron from now on.
that's Baron Edwardy. I don't know. That doesn't fit right. We
I
gotta
should stick a Vaughan in. No, Baron Von Edwardsy, like that.
Vaughn Edwardy. Yeah, there you go. Put Vaughn in there. That would be good.
Yeah.
That would be real good. Now, the earliest formation that that comes from all this, it does go back to the reign of William the Conqueror, is what I did find out.
Mm.
But its deeper roots were found in Anglo-Saxon customs. Then you had the local tribe traditions
Yeah.
and um, and the administration efforts of like the early medieval kings. Now, common law didn't begin as a written code, but it was a living system of legal judgments based on like precedent, reason, and experience. So that's what I did find out. Um, Now,
Mm.
before the Norman invasion, legal practice in England varied according to region, like from region to region.
Mm.
Like, well, you know, like different tribes and communities
Yeah, yeah,
followed.
yeah.
You
Like
know,
you said, this was at the time of when England became England, as a single country. So yeah, you needed to create sort of a wider structure.
well, there was no during that time. Like the king did make some role or did have some roles in issuing laws and stuff, but there was like no central authority that was
Mm,
uh, enforcing a like uniform legal
mm.
standard at that time. You know what I mean? Um, and believe it or not, it was the Normans who actually introduced like a lot more stronger centralized government to you guys' country. So it was like my
I
ancestors.
remember before the Norman conquest, King John wanted to renege on the agreements anyway. He didn't believe that the agreement was legally enforceable
Well,
or enforceable.
King John wasn't a very good man, was he?
Mm. No,
He was pretty brutal guy, wasn't he?
I believe so.
Yeah. No, he wasn't there. Pope too that was involved in trying to make sure that the Magna Carta wasn't recognized in England at one time too.
I believe so, but I can't remember specifics.
Okay,
No,
so
I can't remember the specifics.
now what basically I learned was William the Conqueror and everybody after him they wanted to consolidate their control over the area. And one way
Hmm.
that they did that was by centralizing justice, and they did that under the authority of the crown. They began sending
Hmm.
like royal officials known as ju- justice justiciars or something like that.
Justices of the peace. Maybe,
Justice
yeah. Something.
justiciars is
Okay.
justiciars. I'm a justiciar, and I'm here for your money and your daughter.
Okay.
They would they would uh, they would send them across the kingdom to hear disputes. Basically, is how
Yeah.
all that started. Um, they they were supposed to like have the authority of the king, and that was supposed to like override the local customs that were in place for when necessary, not all the time. You know what I mean? But
Hmm.
like whenever they had to solve a dispute. Now, but yeah, I wanted to clear that up because your lotus eaters are eating bugs, dude. Like they, you know what I mean? It's like, come on now, dude. Seriously.
Right. But again, they made the point about we bringing justice to the world as well as other things.
Now, over time, this whole process actually, um, because it was issued in the name of the crown, these decisions that were made were eventually became known as common law. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And that's basically how the name common law came to being.
Hmm.
So that's where the whole area of common law came from, and now everybody uses this shit all over the world. So happy birthday, England!
I don't know. You're still more famous for using a civil mechanism.
Well, what happened here in the United States is we gave up on the writ, and a lot of
Yeah, you've
you
taken
guys.
a much more European sort of centric sort of
No,
opinion. Or,
we've given up on writing writs.
okay.
Then they've considered writing writs as being outdated, and yeah, they do have civil law, but that's actually not as powerful as common law. You know what I mean? Because they still use common law in criminal cases and stuff. So.
Yeah. Yeah, but you're more known for if you can make it as something in civil law, you will, rather than criminal.
No, not as much as you think. Not England, but Europe is actually
Yeah,
ridiculous
yeah,
about it.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah. I mean,
no, now the United States, like they would rather freaking have you go up on common law when it comes to criminal laws like murder and stuff like that.
mm,
And then if you're found innocent, that's when they come in with the civil law, and people
mm,
are able to sue you, and they would have to go according to statutes then, rather than case law.
yeah.
You know, but Europe is horrible. Like they're saturated with nothing but civil cases and civil
Mm,
law and all
mm.
that. I bet you even to this day they're like that even under the EU.
Yeah, France, Germany, yeah,
Mhm.
Brussels.
Now,
Yeah.
this practice established the idea of precedents, meaning that earlier rulings would inform future judgments. Rather than relying on rigid statutes or religious doctrine, the judges used a mixture of reason, custom, and previous examples to arrive at their conclusions, which that would be what we would call civil or common law. Now, this reliance on case law made the English system distinct from those on the continent, which tended to be more heavily to which tended to draw more heavily from written Roman law. And that's what's so important about civil law when you're talking about that. You always keep forgetting to mention the fact that this is Roman law. You know what I'm saying?
Technically, it's Roman law as interpreted by Henry the
Well, let's
originally
let's stop making it
in
all about.
1100 AD.
Actually, I gotta correct myself. I was ready to say let's stop making this all about England, but we're actually trying to celebrate England's birthday. So yeah, I guess so. We can
Yeah.
let that slide. And
Arguably, this started off with Edward Confessor.
the Confessor.
He formed a lot of laws between 1040. Oh, actually, yes, prior to 1066. He became king a year after he was born.
Well, you also have to think about Henry II too. Okay,
Okay,
he
that's later.
he introduced reforms that like strengthen royal justice and stuff. Now, under his rule, the system of royal courts expanded. And
And you
standard.
took a Henry the First.
No, that was the second, wasn't it? Wasn't it
Yeah.
Henry II that did that?
I believe it's Henry the First. You could
Because
be right.
because he's the one that he standardized procedures for criminal and civil cases. And he's
Yeah.
also the one that did trial by jury, I believe.
I think we are talking about the first.
Now, before that, though, I thought that, like, I don't know, like, trial by jury replaced, like, trial by ordeal or combat, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, come on, dude, like, fight to the death, or, you know what I mean? Which would you rather have, a jury, or would you rather be able to fight to the death?
Depends on the allegation.
Like, I mean, dude, I just think that would be a lot cooler. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay, you're right. It is Henry II.
is it?
1154 to 1189. Yeah. Trail. Okay. Later the withdrawal support. Okay. Yeah. Henry II.
See, and the reason why I was thinking about that was because like, every time I hear his name, I think of that one scene off of Star Trek where Captain Kirk has to fight to the death, and he. You don't remember that? You don't remember? Dude, that was like one of the coolest
What has
scenes.
that got to do? What has that got to do with Henry II?
Henry II replaced freaking the battle to the death freaking laws where like you had
So Henry II was fighting against Captain James T. Kirk.
no he actually ended those days where people had to fight to the death to prove their innocence, and he created
Okay, that's
a court system out of juries. And I don't know, I kind of think that was a mistake. Like it would have probably been better if they had to fight to the death, because then like it just seems so much cooler. You know what I mean? Like jousting.
yeah. It would make good TV.
Well, I mean, I mean, it's like, come on, dude. Like people who joust over in England now, like, come on, bunch of pussies, dude. Seriously, you know what I mean? Like, get out there, take the freaking caps off of the jousts, and run each other through, dude. Let there be blood. Let it
Bring
spill.
back, bring back gladiatorial games.
Well, you know what I mean? It's like, come on, dude. Why do you think that shit was invented in the first place? It wasn't so people could freaking just like get up and wipe themselves off and do it all over again. You know what I mean? Like those were heroes. Those were knights. You know what I mean? Come on. Do you get where I'm coming from there, dude?
So you want instead of trial by jury, you want people to ride into battle.
Well, they don't have to ride into battle. They can like joust. Do like a cool jousting session where
So if you're convicted of a crime, you've got to be able to ride a horse.
hey, you know what? That's not a bad idea. I mean, it's better than eating them.
So you're guilty of whatever crime. You must know have lessons in how to ride a horse.
Yeah, uh, that actually sounds like a really, really good idea.
Okay. Only to
Okay.
be stabbed at the end of it.
Now, another thing that was pretty interesting though is the whole thing about juries. Okay. Now, like that's something that did come out of England too. Like they came up with where juries were actually composed of like local people. You know what I mean? They had to give honest judgments based on their knowledge of the case and the community and stuff like that.
Mhm.
That did come out of England, but
You know what? There's a estimate that only 1% of our entire cases in the UK are set by jury,
only 1%.
something like that, and potentially even less, depending on the bill that's going through Parliament at the moment.
Now, see, you guys, um, the key features that you guys brought into common law was the writ. Okay.
Mm.
Now that is something that we've stopped using here in the U.S. But that's something that was used in England, and it was issued. It was supposed to be issued by the King's Court, and the whole reason behind that was it was commanding like specific legal actions. You know what I mean? So if you were supposed to show up for court, then a writ was written, and, and it was like a legal decree saying that you had to show up here. And that's originally how it
Yeah,
started.
well, modern day writs are warrants, and therefore, don't you have warrants in the US?
Well, writs are different. Okay, writs are different.
Technically, the modern form.
Yeah. Well, the modern form for a writ is My,
Warrant.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe a warrant, maybe, but legal jargon too. Like back in the day, man, they used to write writs. Now, not during the period that I'm talking about, where it was a formal
Mm.
order. You know what I'm saying? Now that would technically be like a warrant today. But
Mm.
like writs actually went farther than that. Like it didn't have to do with like ordering a person. Just it didn't have just to do with ordering a person into court. You know what I mean? They started using writs for almost everything at one point. Like if you wanted to bring a complaint before the court, that was another reason for using a writ. So like if you had
Mm.
issues that you wanted resolved, you could write out a writ and take it before the court, and your case could be heard. You know,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, much like any normal legal complaint these days.
hmm Now they ended up bringing that to an end. I don't even know what.
No, I wouldn't call it to an end, but it just took a different form.
Well, that would be identifying the correct writ for their case, and that brings out a whole lot of bureaucracy too. You know what I'm saying? So you
Mm.
like you're standing there and they're saying you're going to need paper file number or document number 4-8
You've
five
still got
hundred.
to do that in courts now.
Not like that. I mean, can you imagine? Well, now they've got
But yeah,
computers too.
yeah, we've got a specific complaint.
Well,
Yeah,
see,
but it's still the same concept.
this goes back to what I was saying about freaking the jousting, dude. Let's just cut that shit out and go back to the simple way of life, man. I would rather freaking be in a jousting competition than freaking stand in a
How is it
bureaucratic.
simpler if you've got to teach an entire society how to ride horses?
Not the entire society, just the people who have to go to court because of a criminal case. They're going to have to learn how to ride a horse so they can stay alive.
Or well, not be eventually stabbed?
Right. You see,
Yeah.
I think that would be a lot more. Well, don't be doing like the crazy stuff. Like they used to take and they used to drop people down holes and let them starve to death and die in like this little area
Hmm.
and stuff. So I wouldn't condone that, but like a good jousting session. I mean, there is nothing wrong with that. And then if you survive, man, you're free. You're innocent.
Okay.
You know that would be kind of
I
cool.
would do the more Roman gladiator sort of thing.
But yeah, you guys are the ones who came up with judges, came up with common law. Um, now, like that's also about like you guys are the ones who started compiling court decisions and stuff like that because of all of this crazy bureaucracy. Um, and to be honest, like these guys, they were real desperate for information. Like if the only thing that they can come up with is like common law for how England benefited the world, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Right? They didn't just come up with common law, and even though common law is an important concept, nevertheless, what was it? Something like 20% of the world speaks English. 60% of the internet is written or the web is written in English.
hmm Well, I think the one thing,
You speak in English, are you not?
whatever, dude. You know, I think the most important thing though about common law is it preserved like liberty, basically. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm.
when you take a look at what liberty actually means, you know what I'm saying? Like the actual word, and it resisted excessive interference from the crown. Basically, is what it is. It's like, and that I think that is probably what was so weird about that. You know, even though it
No,
did.
actually, there's a different look at it. Allowing the crown to be as on equal footing as the commoner.
Well, not the commoner. Remember, this
Well,
was
well,
the nobility,
within certain parameters.
right? Like commoners didn't get to they that whenever nobility and royalty came through town, they had to look down at the ground and look at their
Free
shoes.
people.
You
Yeah.
know, that they weren't allowed to actually look at royalty back in those days. They had to look at their feet. They could see their feet, but that's it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Now nobles would be the ones who this actually applied to. So don't you English start getting all uppity up and everything, because this still didn't apply to all of you. You were still minorities among your
Okay.
nobility. You you know what I'm saying? Like,
Some of us would be.
yeah, not you though, because you are Duke von
Yeah.
Edworthy. You know, it's. I actually tried to say that, and I forgot your name because I said Von. Duke von Medworthy. Now, the Magna Carta. That's where we come into the Magna Carta. Who actually wrote the Magna Carta? Mark Edworthy, Mr. Edworthy.
Some King John scribe.
Huh? Do you, do you know why it was written?
Yes, based upon previous charters, such as the Charter of Liberty back in Henry the Second. Eh? No, Henry the First time.
Now I've heard different stories on this, and it's like the grub eaters we're talking about a little while ago. The no, it wasn't the grub eaters. What's their name again? The lotus eaters. They said a story that I've actually heard before, and I don't know how true that is because history isn't really as great as what these people are always making it out to be, you know. So, but I heard that it was like because like England has this like fairy tale freaking myth thing going on with them. You know what I'm saying? Where they believe like there was this grand kingdom that was back before the time history was recorded. You know,
Albion.
yeah,
In
yeah.
of yeah, me-
So like I was listening to them, and don't get me wrong. I mean, it was noble that they were saying this shit, but like there was a good chance like 80% of what came out of their mouth concerning the Magna Carta was wrong. You know, because they were saying
such as
it was to preserve the liberty and the true freedom that we had before these kings and before the, you know what I mean, the unified uh, kingdom of England and shit. And I'm like, are you serious, dude? You know, and you hear that quite a bit. You know what I mean? And that's really not what the Magna Carta was. You know what I mean? It drew off of old ideas before it, but it wasn't from this grand freaking time period that happened before England was unified. Because it was very brutal before then. You know, it was very. I mean, England.
if you believe Mallory, if you
Huh?
believe Mallory, then yeah. If you believe Mallory, then yeah. Between 5th century, since the fall of Rome, to what 8th, 9th century, yeah. Merlin, King Arthur. We were saving damsels from castles and dragons.
What damsels were throwing down their hair from the tower
Yeah.
so that these heroes could climb up and save them. You know,
Mm.
just I mean, yeah, that kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, come on, dude, seriously. like nobody wants to take into consideration like the battles that took place. You know what I mean? They,
Mm.
I mean, they. You had the Welsh fighting. You had the English. You had them fighting. You had the Scots coming from the north. You know, it was brutal. It was
You had the
constant.
French coming from the south. You had the Germans coming from the east. You had the Vikings coming from the east, northeast.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this was before the Vikings even set up, though.
No.
You know what I mean? Like the French, you hit it right on the nose with the French because I forgot which king it was, but he actually unified England and he fought off the French at the same time. They were
Oh,
right.
Henry the First, isn't that what Shakespeare based on? Yeah, yeah. Henry the First attacked a lot of France.
Hmm. Had to fight them off. Them bastards
Yeah.
coming over and trying to steal your shit.
Normandy, Khan was part of England at one point.
See, we're on live with Roger Hanson now, not on Roger's real time talk show, so I can like openly talk shit on the French. I
Okay,
love it. I love it, dude.
you do anyway, but yeah, carry on.
Well, I was nice on that show. I only mentioned freaking the eating of the horse,
Okay.
eating of the ass. I think that's probably what I want to make a show of since they have the lotus eaters. I want to make a stream and call it eating of the ass.
Okay.
What do you think? You think that'll
What
work?
would be the what would the subject matter be?
Everything, dude. Just people would love it, dude. They would see that and they'd be like, "Oh yes, I must go see eating of the ass." Yeah, you don't think it would hit off?
Mm, maybe.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'll think about it. I don't know for sure. Okay, so I'm sorry, I got carried away. Now, the Magna Carta, in my opinion, is basically that's what it is. It drew off of a lot of the older ideas and stuff that
Hmm,
came before it. You know
hmm.
what I mean? I don't I don't buy into like the whole. Well, like I said the other day about freaking like the golden age of anything. You know what I mean? And I think that's the one thing that they drew off of that I just don't believe. I don't. From what I've read, it was very brutal. But they did draw off of old ideas that kind of needed to be brought up. And I found out that there's only 4 surviving copies of the Magna
Copies,
Carta.
yeah, yeah.
So, and then like with you said that you guys only use how much of the Magna Carta
I
still in
think
like
only 3 articles. I can't remember how many articles was in the original. But yes, 3 articles out of 60. Oh, 3 clauses out of 63 clauses.
yeah. So, how much of the Magna Carta do you guys actually have in law though? Like in the law, what you guys
Yeah, just 3 clauses.
3 clauses?
Habeas corpus. Well, which eventually became habeas corpus. Um, I don't know. Yeah, I think.
Okay, so that was one thing they mentioned in there was habeas corpus.
Mm,
Now, besides that, that really stood out to me was the fact that they mentioned law of land. Okay, the
Yeah, the freedom of church of the Church of England, clause 1. Ancient liberties of the City of London, clause 13. Um, and the right to due legal process, clause 39 and 40.
Now, the Magna Carta uh, is the is what it all really comes back to. Now, what I found out was the term "law of the land" originated in medieval England, and
Hmm.
it developed. It developed into what would become common law, which what we were just talking about, and then constitutional thought as well. And that all in turn created the concept of legal rights. Now, the earliest appearance came from text from the Magna Carta, uh, and that apparently was forced upon King John. So King John, and I've heard it before about he wasn't really that great of a king. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. Hmm.
So they basically put these charters together. I guess you could call them charters.
Yeah, yeah,
You're kind of falling, and they gave them to
in
him.
effect, King John was a bit of a traitorous bastard.
But that's pretty harsh to say. You can't go from being like, oh, he was somewhat. Being a treacherous bastard is a pretty bad guy.
Yeah, he never wanted to. He wanted to rely on the agreement anyway, and he his main interest was to increase taxes for wars,
All right.
as well as the Vikings being a nuisance in um, northern regions of England at the time.
Right. And when they turn around, they give him this document. What I was under the impression of was that it said that no free man could be punished or
Mm. Yeah,
or
which
deprived
goes
of
back
his
to
right.
the right to due legal punishment
Right.
process.
And that would be freaking not the Magna Carta, but that would be the beginnings of habeas corpus, wouldn't it?
Yeah. It came out of Magna Carta again, Article 39 and 40.
Which basically would have stemmed from law of the land. What they determined was the
Mm.
law of the
Mm.
land. So I think that's actually kind of cool when it comes to that. Now, when it comes to habeas corpus, now um, the cool thing about that is you know what that means.
No free man should be taken or
No,
imprisoned.
the actual words. You know what they
Habeas corpus. It's something in relation to that, and I can't remember.
in Latin it means you shall have the body.
Yeah, yeah.
That's pretty crazy. And
Yeah,
then
you display the body you shall have.
now now
Show us the body, isn't it?
you shall have the body.
Like I would show us the body.
Now today in common words, yeah, that's what it would be. Show us the body. So yeah,
Mm.
that would actually be true. So hold on a minute. What you want?
So you know how I got some of those old shoes, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I got some new shoes.
Do you?
You want to see them?
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's cool.
They're knee-high Converse.
I'm live streaming right now. See that English dude? That's Mark Edworthy.
Yes.
We call him Mark Von Edworthy. Duke of England. I'm talking to my niece. How you doing? Okay. Well, I'm gonna be doing this, and we're talking about cool stuff. It's England's birthday. Did you know that?
Yep.
Huh?
Yeah.
I'll talk to you later. Stay out of trouble. Okay, so yeah, sorry about that. I had to look at my niece's shoes. She's got
Okay.
one. She's got long shoes that go all the way up under her knees. They're tennis shoes that
Okay.
go up to the shins, dude. That's crazy. Like, can you imagine
Actually, no. It's a fashion statement I've seen in the UK quite a lot.
tennis shoes that go up to your freaking
And I
like?
should take out maybe not in the shoes.
It's weird, and they have shoestrings and everything, man.
Okay. So much like roller skating shoes,
Hmm.
high roller skating shoes.
Yeah, basically, that's kind of what it looks like, but they're like
Okay.
almost knee highs. Okay, so from everything I've found out about this habeas corpus and stuff, this is what I'm saying. It's just it seems like they were desperate for like information that they could like say England did this cool stuff because like habeas corpus, they mentioned that, all right, and habeas corpus again goes right back into writs, um, writing writs, jurisdiction. You know what I mean? For trials,
Mm.
things of that nature. So it was like I was checking that out, and I went and sure enough, they all are about the same thing. It was pretty
Mm.
pathetic. So on England's birthday, man, tell me what's some really cool things that England did other than the stuff we've mentioned.
Nothing. I mean, on the birthday. Nothing. Um, yeah. I don't know. We bought science, philosophy, modern philosophy,
No.
science to
Dude,
the
now you're
world.
gonna. I've been trying to stay away from freaking
A
esoteric.
scientific process.
I've been trying
Yeah,
to
we
stay
bought the
away from
scientific
the.
process.
I've been trying to stay away from the esoteric stuff. You remember the Invisible College, don't you?
Okay.
Yeah, don't get me started, dude. I'm gonna. You don't want me talking about the Royal Society, do you?
We brought good food to the world.
Well, good food, fish and
Fish and
chips,
chips. Yeah, fish and
fish.
chips.
Right, fish and chips. You're right,
Even though that's arguably Jewish from Eastern Europe.
dude. Come on, let's just
Yeah, okay.
it's coined in England. When people think fish and chips, what do they think? They think England. So you're right about that. Fish.
Spotted dick.
What?
Spotted dick.
No, we don't do spotted dick here in the United States.
Okay.
Now, spotted dick is freaking signs to go to the doctor here in the United States. Okay.
Yorkshire pudding. You do popovers.
Popeyes.
Popovers. Yorkshire pudding.
I don't even know what popovers are, dude. What the hell is
Okay.
it?
I think that comes from very popular in Massachusetts. But yeah, Yorkshire puddings.
St. Patrick's Day.
Guinness.
Wait, no, that's
Irish.
not it. That's not it. That's Irish. That's not English.
Um,
Now, potatoes. No, it's not English either. Shit, dude.
steak. I've already said it's steak and then
Bread.
beans on toast.
Bread. Let's go.
Bread.
Bread. You guys make.
Blood pudding. Okay, no, that's more European.
Now, I do know just like bread might be a good thing because like even John talks about being a baker. Like
Yeah.
he loved being a baker. And you love talking about bread all the time. So I guarantee
Okay.
you there's like tons of English people talking about how great the bread is in England.
Yeah. Um, cheese, cheddar.
I'm still here. Rumble had a hiccup.
Uh,
So, yeah, I mean, I personally, when it comes to England, though, I think that what really is the most important thing that they brought was the architecture. You know,
you Faden.
I, I was saying it was the architecture, I think, that was really a big thing that England did here.
No, I'm not getting anything. What you saying?
How about now?
Nope.
Yeah, is that better?
Carry on.
Can you hear me?
Say more.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's go. Let's go.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's the architecture really out of England
Yeah.
that was really and the clock making. You know what I mean? Old Ben. Have you checked out what goes into Old Ben? Like, do you know how they set the clock on Old Ben?
Yeah. British clocks.
Not like,
Britain is known for g- producing timepieces.
well, Germany has a good clock too. Don't get
Yeah.
me wrong, okay? But Old Ben, dude, is amazing because you know how they set their clock.
Gone.
They have freaking coins, just little bitty coins, dude.
Uh,
Okay, and these are made identically the same way it was. They were made back when Old Ben was created or built, and
mhm.
and in order for them to adjust the time, they take a certain amount of coins and they put it on this weight, and it adjusts to the time accordingly.
Okay.
It's amazing. This huge freaking device, dude, is being calculated by little bitty coins that they're putting on a scale, basically. That is, that's completely amazing. You know, I haven't really looked too deep into the big one they have over in Germany, but I doubt that could compete with Old Ben. So,
Yeah.
and I still believe that. Well, maybe you could talk to your statesman and tell him to bring back the jousting.
I'll lobby for a bill to be made. Actually, interesting enough, there is a feel for bringing back the death penalty in the UK, and there's been arguments for many years now. Um, I think the death penalty is becoming a popular concept again.
Well, I mean, that's a lot different than habeas corpus, though. You know what I'm saying? Like habeas corpus is where they just
Yeah, but
arrest you.
but, 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 but you were just talking about jousting, so yeah, well,
Well, well, I mean, yeah, if we could get rid of habeas corpus for some cool jousting, that would be cool. But I mean, don't.
it's cool. They can both work together.
Well, I mean, just don't waste good fighting on death sentences. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't send them to the freaking chair or hang them, dude. Make them get out there and do a good freaking
Uh,
jousting. You know what I mean? Like, or maybe those big freaking those big spikes, the ones that have the hook or the ball at the end of it, and they got the chain, and
okay.
give them one of those and freaking some armor with a shield. Make them go out there and just fight to the death with it. You know what I mean? And then just because it's
Yeah.
England, just because it's England, make them have to stop and say like a really really hard English word.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, what's a hard English word that you can think of? Like the hardest English word to say that most Americans don't know. Huh? You know.
Uh,
Come on, don't lie to me,
I can't
dude.
think.
You know. Okay, codified laws. Now, they mentioned codified
Okay.
laws. Okay. And they said something about codified laws being from civil law, which came out of the EU. No, right there, I'm gonna point out that they're
You,
complete,
you-
or not the EU, out
yeah.
of Europe, out of the mainland Europe, and
Okay. Yeah.
I wanted to point that out because they're 100% absolutely wrong. Codified laws go all the way back in history. Okay, all the way back to Mesopotamia. Codified laws don't really like nobody. Well, actually, one person, uh, Hammurabi, could probably be the person that takes credit for codifying laws. You ever heard of Hammurabi?
No, rings a bell, but
He
yeah,
was
just rings a
he
bell.
he was the one that freaking created the first laws in Mesopotamia. Like you've heard, eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Hammurabi. Now he could probably be the one who can take credit for that, but it wasn't Europe and civil law that came up with codified laws.
We bought the modern variant. I mean, how much of Mesopotamian law do we use these days?
Hammurabi, dude.
Yeah, but how much of do we still do an eye for an eye?
Um, Not really an eye for an eye, but there's a. I can't tell you on the top of my head what they are and everything, but there are. The last time I looked at them, there are quite a few of them from Hammurabi that we still do use today. That's the weird part
Okay.
about it. I mean, so yeah, I mean, it was codified law. You know what I mean? So um, just so he knows, ancient Indi- ancient India's Dharmasastra too is
Hmm.
another one that's legal code. That's codes of ancient China and Egypt and all of them too. If you look at it,
Hmm.
so you got a lot of different ancient codified laws that were in play before Europe and England. So don't let that shit go to you guys' head.
But the rest of the world uses our system to a point.
Not really. You guys actually have like a lot of your laws are way too freaking way too much. They're too like
Yeah, the concept of.
you guys have like laws on when it's proper to fart in public and you know what I mean.
Hmm.
I know that's an exaggeration, but it kind of fits the term. Like you know what I mean. Like the English at one time in London, there was a corner where people could go to and they could just talk all the shit they wanted to and not get in trouble.
Technically, you're still there.
Yeah. Well, you know what I'm talking about.
Indeed.
You know what I mean? Like, and they had that, but anywhere else in London, you were not allowed to act inappropriate. You know what I mean? You had to be a civilized Englishman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, today, you can go ahead and pretty much do it anywhere you want to. You can act like a fool and be inappropriate all you want.
Maybe. Maybe.
You know, but back,
He can still be prosecuted.
I don't know about all that. Like I mean, well, maybe for some of it, but like there's a lot of stuff that you can get away with. I'm sure now that you can't get away with. You couldn't get away with back in the 1960s. You know.
And vice versa, would argue.
Hmm.
The entire hate speech argument.
So, have you figured out anything else That's that is important when it comes to.
With Britain, our influence over the rest of the world over the last 300 years.
That's not really good, dude. You know that, right? Like you.
Politically, remember we were one of the first, or we were the first country to outlaw slavery,
Well, that is a good point right there. That is a good point. A lot of people don't take that into consideration. England was actually
and aided in stopping U.S. slavery.
you guys abolished the slavery and laws in Africa. Like you made it illegal to transport slaves from the continent of Africa.
Mm.
Now that didn't stop them, but at least you guys did make the effort to say, "Look, it's
Yeah, but it did stop within what 60, 70 years after.
yeah." They pirates still ship
Mhm.
slaves over, but what they did is they shipped them to the Philippines, not the Philippines,
Mm.
but the islands down in the Caribbean, and they gave them
Mm.
false papers, making it look like they came from like the Caribbeans as natives instead of Africa.
But irrelevant. The point is that if it wasn't for our actions,
Right.
we'd still potentially see same form of slavery happening now.
Well, I think that actually started more from France because you guys started really getting along right during that time period, and France was really pushing for the freedom of slavery now. But
This was just before the revolution,
hmm
let's say within the last 40, 50 years before the revolution. So we might just start out supporting France by at the end, but
well, the thing of it was it got just so out of hand. I mean, even your guys' freaking liberals turned away from France, dude. Like, and here in the United States, when the radicalism got so out of hand with the French Revolution, like we were telling them, like, look, man, we don't want nothing to do with you. Like, the
mm,
United States didn't even support France during that time because of how bad it got.
well, technically there was no United States was still not a thing.
Well, kind of. Well, no, yeah, it was. French
Mm,
Revolution happened after
okay.
the American Revolution, dude.
2006,
1770,
yeah. Well, actually, no, the French Revolution started before the
1776, man.
yeah, okay, about the same time
Yep.
initially.
Now, what happened is like this. We won our revolution against you guys, okay?
Yeah,
Against the elitist British Empire that was all about conquest and murder. We defeated.
and bringing democracy and the rule of law to the world.
Now,
Every single percent of
what happened was is like we called upon France, and France as good allies to us who loved America and what we stood for, and understood the cruelties and the barbarian instincts of the English Empire. Decided graciously to support us in our endeavors to defeat the wretched and horrible empire of evil.
okay,
So after that, when we finally defeated you guys, horribly, by the way,
okay,
freaking France was so smitten by the whole experience that they made us a statue and put it in the New York harbor and said,
yeah,
"This
yeah.
is freedom. This is freedom." And it looks out to see, and it says to all of the wandering immigrants that are trying to come to the United States, and it says to it, "We only want your white people."
Okay.
all of all of your dirty brown people stay away. All of your dirty Mexicans stay away. We
I
want
don't
your
think
white
that's
people.
actually true.
Huh?
I don't think that's actually true.
Okay, I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
I think you will definitely are wrong.
Well, I mean, it's like we're not getting any viewers. You know what I'm saying? I had to come up with something.
Okay.
But yeah, with what basically happened is just shortly after we ended up having our war with one another, France actually was inspired to have their own revolution.
Okay.
The, the,
The French was inspired to. So you said the French was inspired from the what
America,
would become America,
no, from
inspired
the
from France.
from the revolution is actually what it was. Detective Fallen.
I disagree. It was all about the France creating a nationhood, modern nationhood,
You do
as
know
we saw in other countries as well, such as Germany.
you do know that like they actually shipped a statue over here.
Yeah, I am aware of the.
I mean,
Um,
it was like the Statue of Liberty, dude. I mean,
yeah,
literally, they named it the Statue of Liberty.
even liberty, people
But
freaking
I
saying
understand where you're coming from about like
people
the
love
thing,
it.
like the feed 'em bread thing. You know, I do agree with that. But this is one thing I don't disagree, or I don't agree with you on. I really think that France, they may their ideas of the revolution may have been wrong because of how bad it turned out and the murders and stuff like that with the time of terror.
Mm.
But I would say that yeah, they were inspired by it. It wasn't really a good inspiration if you really look at it. Like that was probably one of the horriblest freaking revolutions that a constitutional government could have ever had. If you really look at it, like I mean, you guys didn't run around cutting off your nobility's head. You know what I mean?
Well, we've done that once. Well,
Well,
but yeah,
the king doesn't count. I'm talking about
right.
like they hunted everybody that had nobility involved, and
Yeah.
they just off with their heads. You know what I mean? Now, Detective Fallen stopped in on YouTube and said, "Oh, as always, peeking in to see the topic today and support the OG Roger. Hope all is well." That's right. Thank
See,
you.
somebody's listening.
Well, Detective Fallen, he's my bud, man. He's got this Discord channel over on Discord called Home Away from YouTube, and like we've been
Yeah.
we've both been on there for years, and we play video games and share it on there and stuff, and do WLCs, watch, like, and comments. So I I appreciate that, Detective Fallen. Thanks for stopping in and catching the topic. We're just at the end now where we're bullshitting about how great freaking England is. It's England. We're celebrating England's birthday. We don't know exactly how old it is, but we know that.
Over 1,000 years old in
Oh,
its modern equivalent.
right.
And if you go by King, who was the first?
Well, it would have if it goes according to them, it would have been after King John.
No, it would be before it be held.
Well, no, actually, because they
It'd
did.
be Ephestein.
It would be
Yeah, Ephestein. 1939. Sorry, 939.
okay. Yeah. So that would be it. So that's basically what we were finishing up on right there is um, England's birthday. Um, this whole thing about freaking Sirhan, we were talking about him in um, I don't know if you know about him, but Sirhan was the guy who assassinated uh, Bobby Kennedy, John F. Kennedy's brother. Oh, he thought that we were having a heated conversation, and now, Detective, me and Mark Edworthy always have a heated conversation because see, Mark doesn't Mark doesn't understand that like we are the greatest nation that ever came to being here in the
Yeah,
world.
yeah, we are. Yeah, I agree. We are.
The United States. Oh God.
I made mighty oaks fall.
Yeah. So we have these conversations all the time. And it's too bad that Mr. Robot didn't show up because then he could have been able to
Mm.
commentate or be a part of it and stuff. So
We have maybe looked in that chat room. So yeah, yes,
yeah.
and for a couple of days.
No, I think he got upset and decided he didn't want nothing to do with us no more. He said, "We're tired.
Okay.
I'm tired of your foolishness, believing in real history and shit. You know, don't you guys?"
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet you it pisses him off that we talk about like actual textbook history, political
I'm
history.
surprised he didn't jump on the H. Wells thing.
Yeah, I mean he hasn't
H.
responded.
Wells.
That's what surprised me too, actually, because like H.G. Wells, the post you made in chat, you mean that was actually a pretty good post.
Yeah,
So I'm surprised you didn't
yeah.
react.
Actually, I had to recreate the Forever Autumn video because the one that I posted originally ended about 5 seconds before the actual track ended.
Shit.
So I did some video editing just to replace the last couple, or to recreate it.
Yep. Now later on, man, maybe
Good track, good track as well. Justin Rain or Jeff Rain.
Detective Vaughn said, "Yeah, happy birthday, England." Now we're not for sure exactly what day that is. Just so you know, Detective Vaughn,
9:24, I would say.
9/24.
Yeah. So the original video made reference to January, no, sorry, July the 12th, the 12th, 9th.
You're getting it's kind of fading in and out whenever
Right?
you're saying that. What was the date again?
Okay, yeah. Um, Based upon that video, the original video, it's July the 12th, and 924.
Okay, cool. So we're not too far off of it then. Like we're just
We
short,
missed it. Yeah,
well, just
we've
short
missed
of
it.
yeah, 6 days ago basically. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, or a week ago today.
So
Yeah.
it's kind of cool though because we didn't miss it because this is our official live with Roger Hanson for the week. So we're actually right on time about bringing it up.
We could have done it on the last episode.
It would have been early though. It's like why would you tell?
Not in my time,
Why would you?
because,
No.
because remember we started at 11 p.m. my time,
Yeah,
and
you're right.
it is now 2:20 a.m.
You're right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you could have see, and that's sad, dude. That you're from England and you didn't even realize it was his birthday. That's horrible. Now, why aren't you guys shooting fireworks and stuff on your
because it's not a holiday. It's not a known thing.
maybe maybe that could be a
Oh,
good
real known.
change? Because like with all the stuff going on, you know what I mean. It would be a good thing to kind of put a little bit of community heritage back in there. Let people know that stuff, and then like festivals. That's another thing that I think that should be brought back. Because even here in the United States, people aren't doing festivals like they've been doing. And
You do your county fairs.
well,
We do county fairs. Yeah.
festivals though is a different thing. Like you guys have been traditional when it comes to your festivals. Like you had festivals.
Some areas, not all areas.
Yeah.
And things like you're thinking of things like the cheese rolling festival, and the uh, May Day
Oh, oh, detective,
things. Yeah.
oh, Detective Fallen. He likes you, dude. He
Okay.
said he said your accent is cool, your hair is cool, and you
Cheers.
changed and you change smoke. Doesn't have to.
Yeah, that's true.
He said he doesn't have to know England's birthday. He is England. Uh,
I haven't got a cup of tea here instead.
but you know what I'm saying though is like the festivals and all of that is actually something that probably should be brought back. Like and then like maybe throw some pagan festivals up because that's a big thing in England too. You guys really are big.
Bring back May. I haven't seen anybody do a maypole dance in decades.
Exactly. Yeah, it's been a
Yeah.
while, and they used to do that on a regular basis all over the place, especially back in
Yeah.
the '80s. You know, and then like everybody talks about Woodstock here, dude. I mean, what you guys do at the freaking what is that? The Stonehenge? My goodness.
We still have the Glastonbury Festival, but that's become more politicised in recent years.
Hmm. Like freaking, you guys could throw a party at Stonehenge like nobody's business. I've seen some videos there, like start putting reindeer freaking uh, horns on and shit, and naked chicks running
Maybe
around.
not reindeer. Okay. Don't know what's
Naked chicks running around with their boobs
maybe
hanging out and
watching.
shit. You know, I was like, God, seriously. You know, and the bad part was is like they really shouldn't have been naked. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with naked women. Don't get me wrong, but like there's a size issue. Like when you know you're big, you don't freaking start taking your clothes off and getting naked in public, dude.
But Americans are well known for being heavier due to your poor diet, or your relatively poor diet.
Well, I'm just saying, dude. Like an English naked fat woman, yeah, Stonehenge.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen a few.
You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about. I mean, there's like videos out there all over the place of it, and it's like, oh my god, like,
Like, oh no,
huh? You're kind of
you resubscribe to Pornhub.
well, I mean, I don't subscribe to Pornhub so that I can see like a fat chick. You know what I mean? It's like that's not really.
It's just, yeah, going on special category for British fat chicks.
Well, I mean, I don't know if they could. If I could close my eyes, maybe if I just listen to their accents, because like I love chicks freaking with English accents. I just close my eyes and listen to her.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's like there ain't nothing better than an English chick's accent. I'll tell you that much right now. They got that shit freaking under control. You know what I mean? It took me a long time to figure out how good
Okay.
a woman's accent is when it's English, but I finally figured it out. So,
So you're saying you in favour of Liverpudlian or North Yorkshire
it
accent?
well, I'll tell you. I don't know. Liverpool has its advantages too. Don't get me wrong. Like there's a certain way that they talk that is cool, but like
Mm.
um, the only ones that I think have like the weirdest accent is the people from Wales, and I know that everybody gets
Okay.
upset when you say
Mm,
when you add Wales into England. I know everybody gets upset about it, but come on, dude, it's like freaking a little freaking square. You know what I mean? Come on, like you really have to be like that. You know what I mean? The,
Manchester accent. And you have dated Manchester but they had a very heavy Manchester accent at one point. But yeah, Manchester accents are a bit grating.
yeah, it's just that's right around the area I'm talking about. So we've got 3.5 hours in, man, and I'm freaking done. I'm ready to call it quits. So you,
Yeah,
you know
I've
we
just finished that drink, yeah, so yeah.
he had his moonshine, his cherry
Yeah, tropical fruit cider.
tropical fruit cider, and
Yeah.
I am done. I'm done talking about this stuff because I did not think that the only thing those guys would come up with is like talking about circuit courts and shit. You know what I mean?
Well, they mentioned a lot of other things as well.
Yeah, that was the only exciting shit. The stuff I mentioned right here was the only exciting shit. Like the rest of it, I almost fell asleep. You know what I mean?
But they're all nevertheless important.
They
Like I
were,
said, you speak English, do you not?
come on, dude. Seriously. you, you really,
Eh?
dude? Really? Like speaking English, like freaking they talk English in a lot of the world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, precisely. Precisely. We brought our language, and it's the second most used language in the world. And I can't work out if the first most used language is either Mandarin or Spanish.
Well, I've heard Mandarin.
Possibly. Could
I've
be
heard
Spanish.
Spanish is up there with them, but
Mm.
it is up there with them.
But one of the three most common English is one of the three most common languages in use in the world.
Right. I that was horrible though. Like I mean, they could have come up with something a little stronger than just like the law system
Cricket.
and then the
We
language.
brought cricket. We brought soccer. We brought rugby to the road.
Don't get me started on rugby, dude. That's about the gayest sport that there is. Okay, freaking
We brought cricket.
well, cricket. Yeah,
Soccer is the most popular game in the world.
well, football, according to you guys, you know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah, football is British
football,
football is the most
football,
popular game in
foot,
the world.
football. We like to call it football. Okay,
Football.
so before we go, let everybody know your socials and how they can contact you, Mr. Edworthy.
Okay. Yeah, I can be found at minds.com and the username Medworthy.
Okay, and you can find me at Roger underscore Hanson on Kick as well as on D Live. I am also For this show, I am at my regular channel, Roger Hanson, at Roger Hanson 2731 on YouTube, as well as Roger Hanson at Infamous OG 1973 on Rumble. My channel on Rumble is Live with Roger Hanson. You can find me there. And on my YouTube, it's just regular Roger Hanson. Now on Twitch, I am also streaming there, and you can find me at Infamous 1969. So, though, and then those are my areas there. I'm usually on Discord at the Wonderful World of Weirdness if you want to check that out. And as well, I'm got my own gaming channel, which is Gaming with Infamous. You can check that out, as well as my what is that? Teams. It's Teams for Live with Roger Hanson. I don't even know how you. How would you find that even if you tried to look for me on there? Just search it.
No, Microsoft Teams does have a option to search for individual users.
Okay, so you can find me on there.
Yeah.
As Live with Roger Hanson, or I believe I go by, Roger Hanson at it's ROG LOL 1973 at hotmail.com. And then I'm on Elements too. Me, Mark Edworthy, Mr. Robot. Everybody hangs out there on Elements. You can find us on Elements Matrix at Live with Roger Hanson as well. So I think that's all I want to say.
Elements.io. So Elements.io.
Elements.com.
Elements.io.
Okay. It sounds good to me. If you guys like what you saw, please like, subscribe, share, make comments down below, because we like to hear your comments. You don't have to make any comments about the stuff we've discussed here. You can just say hello, and we will respond to you no matter what, because we enjoy conversations in the comment section. So with that, I'm going to end the show. Thank you again, Detective Fallen, for stopping by, and happy birthday to England. And we will talk to you next year, because you are a great country, and Mark Edworthy loves you from the bottom of his heart.
Maybe.